How you guys doing?
We're doing good.
See, that's your
Hey, look at
changed
it.
my icon. Thanks, mate.
Of course, man. Like immediately, look at this. Like the scam molest day is already here. Dude.
Oh my god. Why?
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I gave a gentle hug to the wrong person. Apparently.
Oh. A gentle hug to the wrong. I think that's like the defense for most pedophiles.
What?
Exposed.
Come on. If it's gentle, it's fine.
This
Oh my God.
This is the point. I think this is where we need to start off. Boots, how do you feel about the fact that Burn Guard is now OP?
Is now OP.
Well, it was more OP. Now it's
Yeah,
less
now
OP.
it's getting fixed.
Yeah, now it's
fine.
less OP. But
I was
it's
extremely
still
excited
pretty
when I
OP.
first started. I was extremely excited for the first week, and I was like, "This, okay, I have to be realistic about this. This is not gonna last." But yeah, that was a lot of fun for like a short amount of time where it was getting up to 50k DPS.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously that wasn't gonna last. Now it's still pretty damn good, and I'm pretty happy about that. And I kind of called it. And yeah, I don't know. So my virtues version of it is still a lot of DPS, but it's not as good as the I think it's the Zeal version of it right now for single target DPS.
Yeah.
But I think virtues still could find a place in certain fights. I think virtues could still find a place. The interesting thing about Firebrand is there are. Like, I'm waiting for QT to come out with the perfect gear choice for it. I'm guessing now after the nerf, it's going to be Grievers.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, I think that's already what people are playing right now.
Even before the nerf,
Yeah.
I think it was either more consistent or still a little bit better with Grievous as well.
Yeah, the Virtues version of it, I don't know if it's going to be Grievers, but it could be. But yeah, I still have my Sinister because I haven't gotten crazy trying to get Grievers stuff. We'll see.
I mean, you can just stat swap. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to trying out Grievers for Holomancer.
Holomancer.
Too. Holomancer.
Yeah? What have you got?
I am.
What have you got cooked up for Holosmith, dude?
Right
Holosmith.
now, I did the full storyline, and I've just been going around with Holomancer. With pure Berserker, I've been doing this. It's actually a lot of fun. I think that'll be my first bad build. It's basically bringing back the old static discharge build, but now
yes,
it's got,
oh man, yes, please do.
yeah, it's got a lot more to it now though, because there's a new utility skill that has a tool belt skill that has the same cooldown as the rifle turret. So you got a couple of 7-second recharges there, and then the Holomancer mode switch is even shorter cooldown than that. So you could spam that as much as you want to, yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, I think.
Looking forward to it, man.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
Those builds. Yeah, so on a broader level, how do you guys feel about the little bit of power creep going on in the expansion? Soul Beast nearly 40k, Weaver 50k big hitbox.
I mean, this is all something we predicted, right?
Nearly 40k.
We predicted all of this, though. Like, this is what's going to happen for the first month. It's going to be overpowered probably, and then slowly but surely we're going to get nerfs after nerf after nerf wave, and it'll slowly be brought down to the HOT specs, but different. And obviously they had to do the first nerf wave to the most ridiculous things, being Firebrand.
Weaver hasn't been nerfed yet.
Yeah, yet.
They're working on it. They're working on how to do it.
Come on, like that's just too much. Like, there is a limit on what is acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that is just not acceptable.
Yeah. But I mean, it's been a week. It's not like it's destroying anything, is it?
You sound like you're underwater, Deroir.
Yeah, I think you have
underwater
microphone.
Yeah, your microphone is having issues.
I think it's the wrong one.
It's using the wrong one, man.
Because it's definitely not the one in front of his face. That one looks cool. That looks like a good microphone.
Yeah, it does.
I just keep talking because
okay.
Apparently,
No, It's kind of interesting though. This is how they solve the problem with con DPS. Like, con DPS does 30k DPS, right? It's like nearly 30k DPS. So what do? They just made all the DPS specs do way more than that. So now it's balanced. Now it's
some
balanced.
people are sad. But no, because Nico is sad. He can't DPS raise the DPS anymore.
No, it's just not possible.
He can't play the game. It's all over now.
It's too much damage. I don't know. It kind of depends. I mean, it depends what direction they want to go with this. I mean, they could make this the new kind of level for the classes and have the damage like that. But then they'd have to
does that
rebalance
make the
all
previous
the raids?
Yeah.
But they'd have to rebalance
too
them,
easy,
yeah. But then people already want the raids to be rebalanced because they're too low HP anyway for a lot of people.
For a lot of people. Who are a lot of people? Are you talking about?
The elitists, dude. The elitists.
Exactly, but how
the
many
elitists,
is a lot
they
of
want
people compared to the rest of the game?
The elitists want more HP on the bosses, man. It's too easy.
Maybe
Content's too easy, dude.
Maybe they'll add challenge modes to every single boss.
Yeah, that would be a good starter, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be an interesting way to go with it, but I don't know, man. It's really interesting, because otherwise, it's going to feel so bad. I mean, I have very fond memories of getting 80k burns on Firebrand, and if they have to reduce that down all the way to like 30k DPS to keep it in line, that's just going to be sad, dude. It's going to be depressing. Like, slash away another 50% would just be... It would be horrible, man. It would be disgusting, dude.
It would be balanced as well.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw this one out, but it would be balanced, you know, like that.
Just buff things, stop nerfing things, make everything OP. I want to play with OP stuff, dude. Just leave it.
Make everything OP, but then the game has no meaning anymore. That's a problem.
It's okay.
That sounds like a really, really dumb idea.
I have a question. Not really. No, you're still pretty bad.
Fuck off! What is this bullshit? Call me again.
Wow.
I have.
Wow.
He's
gone. 3-man tea time. Do we invite wooden potatoes over?
Call WP. He just actually rage quit, dude. Like, we've had our first rage quit from TeaTime. Deroir actually rage quit the podcast, guys. There we go. It's done. Oh, he's
back.
Does
it work now? Does it work now?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, it does. Perfect.
Oh, fuck me. Thank you.
But the videos are weirdly cut. Okay,
right.
yeah, you fixed it. Never mind. Yeah.
Going back to it for a second here.
We had a question from
wait. Hold up. I gotta go back to this because that was a really, really dumb suggestion, I have to say. Increasing the health of the enemies, of the bosses, that would be so dumb. Why inflate it so much that the average mob would just like bloat?
No, just the raids. Just in like PvE.
Yeah, but like that means you're just gonna roll through every single other piece of content in the entire game if you're just buffing the raids.
We do that anyway, though.
I think the issue is that like you shouldn't buff the content, previous content, just for the new POF crazy damage, because they have to nerf the damage back to reasonably close to HOT stuff. Otherwise, we run into some problems. The ideology of HOT lead specs being on the same level as POF lead specs, that has to happen.
It's way better to just like average out the numbers of what the different classes can perform instead of just bloating the health that we see on the bosses. Like in my opinion, that would just, I don't know. It would exclude so many other things in the game from being fun or interesting or viable, or it would just it would narrow it down to just being this stupid OP thing, and then you'd have to buff everything else, and you'd just get out of whack again. I don't know. I really like the 30-ish plus kind of DPS average that we have going for like across the board.
I like it too.
I think that's a good balance point.
What if they just kept it where it is right now? Like, we say 38k DPS. That's what.
I wouldn't mind.
That's
pretty okay. Yeah, that's pretty okay.
We're allowed to have 38k DPS. I think that would be fair.
And then instead of buffing the old raid bosses, make challenge modes for all of them.
Yeah.
So that makes the elites very happy. But put it on the back burner a little bit. Work on the new raids first because they'll be happy with that.
Because we need content with Path of Fire.
So fine, we're buffing the HP by 0%. We're just keeping the DPS how it is, and we add challenge modes to make it harder. And wait, how did you guys find the mobs in POF? They're not nearly as annoying as HOT ones. Let's put it
And
like
then
that.
no more pocket
have
raptors.
you met the
Happy man.
jacaranda?
Oh, wait,
yeah.
wait,
Have you met the jacaranda?
oh
Fuck
my
those
god!
things.
Wait, are those the ones that use like the knockback that has absolutely
Yeah.
the knockdown that has no animation?
There's no
or
tell.
cost?
There's
Yeah,
nothing
it
ever.
just
It
It's
knocks you
working
down.
as in
knocks you,
Yeah,
knocks
yeah,
you,
yeah,
knocks
yeah.
you.
working as
Yeah.
a tell.
Oh my god, it was
It's
so
great.
those things
It's
are
great.
so annoying,
It's a
dude.
pet. It's amazing. It's
No.
perfect as it is.
No, it's really annoying, dude.
I think they're very cute.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
They are.
Sure.
The mobs look great, dude.
Yeah. Okay, so wait a second. Is this TeaTime gonna be spoiler free, or are we going full spoilers on this thing?
It's been a week. We can hit a few spoilerinos, man. I think we
A
can.
few spoilers, or are we
I
going
haven't
full
finished-
spoiler,
I haven't
you know?
finished everything. Please, no spoilers.
Okay,
I'm
no
still
spoilers.
playing
Really,
the game.
You haven't finished, Sam? Are you a casual?
wait, what?
No, like I have a job. I have a life.
He's a casual.
Yeah, but it's like, it's the story, man. You can get through it in a couple hours. It's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
like
I have
it's gonna
finished the
take up
story,
your
but I
entire
haven't
life.
explored every little bit of the maps and gotten
Can-
through all the lore.
Oh, okay.
Can
okay.
we?
Yeah, that's what I-
Can we? If we start talking about the story and we start doing spoilers, can we just ask you to take off your earphones?
No, that's not how it works.
Okay. Do you know about more than 4 mounts, possibly?
Yeah, of course I do. I mean, all over Reddit, all over YouTube, all over everywhere. Like, come on, how could I miss it? Even
Everyone was getting so mad that I was getting spoiled, even though I bet you so hard that not 90% of the entire community would have figured it out by themselves if it wasn't for the spoilers. I bet you those like I saw a lot of people just like pinging the different like hints for the Griffin, like, what is this? Can I throw it out? Everyone was just so trigger happy to throw things out that they just wanted to get rid of the only hint in the entire game for the Griffin, and then still they were like complaining.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eventually, you
kinda-
find it though. You find it.
People complain
Eventually.
about absolutely everything. Yeah, you might stumble upon it, right? Because you'd see the
Map
icon.
completion.
You'd see the icon on the map, right? And
Yeah.
you'd go and find it eventually. But then again, not everyone map complete. People are lazy as fuck, dude.
Well, then they don't deserve a Griffin mount.
That's true. But now everyone
Yeah.
can get the Griffin mount.
Yeah, I mean, everyone can get it. I was supposed to get it today, but I got very busy making videos. So I was like, I'm just going to get the Jackal and call it a day.
Yeah. Wow.
So
That's how little I have played Path of Fire.
What?
You're actually a casual, Sam. Is that was?
No, I'm actually just having so much fun on Soul Beast that all I do is replay all the old content, but as a Soul Beast. It's
okay,
great.
so you're having a lot of fun on Soul Beast then.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's perfect. It's perfectly balanced. It's like ArenaNet finally made Ranger great again.
Wow.
I have no.
They gave him 40k DPS, and then it's finally great again.
For 40k DPS,
40K.
but it's only if the benchmark police get you, dude.
Yeah,
You got to do like,
like-
the mega precast to do 40k.
Come on, it's-
Okay, 38,
Yes.
38k
Racial
without
elite,
precast.
using the buff from the engineer. Man, remove all of this. You're at 37k and it's fine. It's great.
Easy balance.
Yeah, that's fine.
And finally,
That's
no
how I
pet.
like it.
Finally, you are your pet. It's easy.
Yeah, man, that's like so good. No pet is a bliss. It's perfect. There was nothing more that I could have wanted for the class. We've been asking for this for 5 years since the game released.
In
Now we have-
PvE, you pretty much stay in the beast mode the entire time as well, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do crazy DPS on that. That's
I mean,
kinda
crazy DPS, no, it's not Weaver level. It's just doing the DPS that is expected of a DPS class. That's it.
acceptable DPS.
Yeah, it's fine.
Tolerable DPS.
Yeah.
Speaking of pets, have you even gotten all of the pets then? If you haven't played it that much.
Yeah, of course I got all the pet. First thing I did.
Okay.
I even made a video about it. Deroir, I see that you are not following
You
me.
did, yeah.
have-
Thing is, I actually knew that because I've seen
I haven't been
that
watching
soul-based
anything, mate.
pet
I've been
guide,
so
dude.
busy actually just getting stuff
Yeah,
in the game.
I think we found the problem here,
I
Sam.
have
You've
a
been making
backlog.
videos instead
Yeah.
of playing the game,
Yeah,
and now we
instead of-
can't do spoilers.
actually that's true.
Damn.
Actually that's true. I've been working my ass off trying to make content that is still not released. But yeah, soon I'm gonna finish everything in the game, get my Griffin, finish exploring all the maps, and I'll be done.
Okay.
But
Okay. So
I mean, once you finish that's a good question, I guess, for this tea time. But once you have finished this, once you have finished exploring the maps, you've gotten your Griffin. You've gotten through every bit of lore that you could find by just exploring around, reading the manuscript or whatever. What do you have left to do in the Path of Fire map? Are you just going to grind bounties? Yeah, are you just going to grind the bounties all day? Really?
Well,
no. I want to keep some Path of Fire experience for me, like.
You only need like what is that? 850 elegies for the entire collection, both the armor and weapons. The armor is like it's like 1/5 of the price of the weapons, so I mean it's easy to get. So unless you really like the funerary weapons, there's no real reason to go for bounties. Can we talk about bounties for a second? Actually, like speaking of. Because
let's talk about content. Let's talk about content, guys.
I genuinely like. I really like the bounties, but the bounties, they suffer from the same design flaw that makes them so perfect. In that you can, it's like an open world boss that you can turn on whenever you feel like it, almost. Because they're on a timer, especially the legendary ones. But you don't really want to be with people.
Why is that?
Because
it makes it way too hard.
So insanely hard. You can
do you think you could solo it?
No. I've been running 5-man groups. I've been running as a dungeon boss, and it's fun. It is so fun. Like I love doing it. Just like +4 in the guild, and we're on. Get it done in max 40 minutes. Every single legendary. It takes no time when you're just like 5 people.
Do you think that's more the case that everyone is just running soldier gear in open world mostly?
Yeah,
and they don't do any damage and they suck.
Yeah, but just look at the fact that when new players come into the game, they go through the same thing as Heart of Thorn. They go through the level 80 instant boost, and then what? You get soldier's gear. Of course, they're going to be useless, except that one Mesmer with the gravity well that apparently one-shots bounties. I saw the post on Reddit. I was like, what? The 700k gravity well was pretty good.
That's a good one.
Man, yeah.
Was that something to do with reflects though? Was it reflecting something and it was just one-shotting the boss?
I don't know, mate. It's the moment the gravity well came up, it melted.
There's always a little bit of a reflect problem.
Yeah, I guess. So.
I remember the triple trouble worm. That was that's how you do it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that though. Like, what's the balance there on that? Because you say 5-man team, you could do it with a really skilled 5-man team. You can do them pretty easily.
You can do them like piss easily. And
then it's hard at 10-man because maybe the 5 other people aren't so good.
10-man can be, yeah, true. I think 10 is kind of like my max, but it would be 10 people that actually know.
When I was getting my Griffin mount, one of the legendary facet guy that I had to get, I found it pretty easy with I went on looking for group and I joined a facet group and it was a full raid, probably 50 people, and it was pretty easy that way.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's hard with a lot of people. The thing is, like the Cirque kind of makes it super easy to just face roll it and not really pull your weight.
Oh, you're saying it's not fun. You're saying it's not fun when it's more than a fight.
No. It takes longer. Like it just. That's my experience, at least. Every single Cirque I've been in, every single upscaled event, legendary event that I've been in, it takes so long compared to, like, literally just try going in with a 5-man group who knows what they're doing. You're killing them in less than 2 minutes. It's over in a split second.
Yes, that is what Berserker
So the idea is
does,
just to do it overnight or something? Because during the day you're always going to have people there. So the idea is just to do it overnight or...
Do it in the morning or in the evening. But that's exactly like coming back to the beginning of my problem here is like because you can just kind of turn them on like you would a dungeon or whatever with a 5-man group. It also locks out so many other people when you're going with a 5-man group. Like you're basically locking out X amount of people for like 30 minutes to like 45 minutes.
Wait, does it actually
activating
lock them
it again?
Or,
no. Like
there is a cooldown timer.
They can participate in it, but once it's dead, it takes like 45 minutes or something to respawn the legendary bounty.
Okay.
Unless you're on a new map, and so you lock out a lot of players just by wanting to do it faster. And
is it 45 minutes really?
Well,
I don't know. I think it's actually longer.
How is that a problem though?
Yeah.
I'm struggling to see the issue here. I mean, that's always the case when you've seen like the videos of people like killing the Mordrum Griffin in like 10 seconds or something, right? With meteor shower and ice bow. So why is it a problem that players that actually know how to do something that isn't auto attack can kill stuff fast?
Are you saying that if there are people who want to farm it? If there are people who want to farm it, are you saying that there's going to be like 5-man groups, let's say, at the spawn point, and they're going to down it in 2 minutes? So anybody else who wants to get the bounty, who like a normal player goes to the bounty board and then runs over there, it's going to be gone by the time they get there.
That's pretty sad though, if that's really the case.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just thinking it's I'm profiting from it, doing it as a 5-man group, but I feel like I'm leaving a trail of devastation behind me from doing it. Like literally, if I was in a 5-man group and I was just wanting to farm elegies all day because you can do a full rotation and then you can start back over. So many other people are not really going to have the opportunity unless they are stationary at
leeching
the bounty boards. Yeah. If they're leeching or if they're stationary at the bounty boards, it's like you just got to be on the ball with it. And it's like every other event in the entire game. It happens in the blink of an eye, and then it starts again 2 hours later. And there's a lot of that in Path of Fire. I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, but it doesn't necessarily promote a lot of team play. It really, really doesn't. If it's easier to do with fewer people, you're not going to advertise it in map chat. You're not going to get a lot of people in. You're not going to tag up. Because
that's pretty
easier
sad,
for you.
Well, no, you aren't going to, but the average player is.
Yeah.
Till they realize that there's an easier way. Trust me.
Commanders are already pretty damn toxic.
I've got great news for you, man. Like that's never gonna happen for most people. Like, most people aren't gonna ever realize that it turns out if you stack up 25 might and quickness and fury, you can just one shot stuff, dude. Like it's not a problem. It's a problem if for the elitists who are just gonna one shot stuff. But the casual player doesn't really care about that stuff. Then the casual player is still gonna have to do that stuff in order to get it done.
Like the thing is, the commanders are already extremely toxic if you don't follow exactly what they're asking you to do. Like they are asking people to take specific utilities and things. Like I just was reading the forums, and people are already complaining this commander is so toxic at the bounties, blah blah. If you tell them that their decisions are bad and they don't know how to play, they get extremely mad. They kick you from the squads, and they get even worse if you follow them and everything. And the forums are like a gold mine right now. Though it's complaints on people and on content. And apparently the bounties is like one of the subjects that's clearly divides the player base there.
So hold on a second. I'm trying to fully understand the argument. Are you saying that you're worried that the bounties will eventually become competitive between 5-man parties?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're saying that it's going to become like actual bounties?
Well, yeah. Only a few number of people are actually going to get it. And they're going to lock out a lot of other players from it.
Feels bad, man.
It's like
that's kind of retarded.
It's like saying that there's a set number of dungeons that can be done every day by so many people, and then you just lock out everyone else.
Yeah, but that's
I'm telling you, in time, people are gonna complain about this. People are going to want this to.
Yeah, I see what you mean, man.
I love it. I'll be completely honest. I've wanted something like this in the open world, like dungeon bosses, instances, stuff like that in the open world that could be spawned and we could have fun with in the open world. And I don't care about people jumping in, leeching, or like the number of players actually participating. That's not really the big thing for me. I just really enjoy that they're a thing, but I can very much foresee a very near future where it's going to be a very competitive scene that just is going to create a lot of toxicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can see that. It's going to be great. It's going to be funny to watch, man. I know.
But how good are the rewards for bounties anyway?
Well, they're not great. I'll tell you that.
Why do you think that there's going to be elitist players making these groups to steal it from other players if the rewards aren't great?
They're not going to make
bad
groups
either.
steal. They're going to make groups to do them for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
the idea of
it's not
stealing
gonna
is not
be-
there. You're not doing it to like push other people out of the content. You're just doing it so
Exactly.
you yourself get it fast. And when you
Okay.
see how toxic the commanders in open world are, of course you will want to do it with your friends or with your own team, because ain't nobody gonna want to follow someone who tells you do this, do that. That's just plain retarded.
You're
So-
spot on.
That's where it's gonna get.
But then
Deroir is right.
But then it's going to get weird, and people are going to be interfering with each other's bounty trains, right? Like they'll try and go to the next bounty, but oh no, it's already been killed by some random random 5-man
Man,
group.
man.
And then it's
I'm
going to
gonna say
get
one
trolled.
thing.
first time I
Queensdale
did-
champ train all over
Yeah.
again.
The
The first time I did the bounties, I figured, all right, I'm just gonna do every single bounty in one run. So I tagged up, formed a squad for like every map, like swapping out people and stuff. And then there was a one time, like near the end, because I try to be a nice guy. I try to be just like, all right, we're waiting on everyone. I want everyone to be a part of this, blah blah blah. And then one guy, he was like, I'm not gonna wait. And then he just jumped in, and I told him, dude, can you just like not? And he got super mad. And what he did was I kicked him out of the squad. And because I kicked him out of the squad, I guess he got even more mad. And so he jumped to the next legendary, and he just activated it, and he just went on to activate all of them.
Wow.
And we couldn't do any of it because the timer had run out, and we had to wait for the instance. We literally had to find a new map because of that guy, that one guy.
Hmm.
Imagine if a 5-man team does it just like deliberately, but not out of spite, just go about their way.
Yeah,
They don't
I
mean
mean,
it in a mean way. They're not being dicks, but you're going to perceive them as such.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I could see that. Even unassuming people who don't want to mess up other people, just start a legendary thing because they think it's cool and they want to try it out. Yeah, but I don't know. I see how it could cause problems in the future in map chat. I just don't know if it's that big of a problem.
I mean, the simple
I'm
fact
not
that it
saying
can
it
create a problem.
necessarily is.
Some people are going to abuse it. Like, I said it as a joke, but do you remember the Queensdale champ train? Like, there was so much toxicity around that. If someone killed one of the champions, like a new player sees the champion and kills it, and then everyone starts hating on him, people swearing in map chat and everything. It's just going to be that way all over again.
My God,
So yeah, it's going to be bad.
that is mildly disturbing.
I mean,
Well, going
can be
crazy
easily-
over open world stuff, guys.
I mean, it can be easily fixed if people just, the devs just change the timers on the bounties. If you make them respawn in the next 10 minutes, who cares? 10 minutes is nothing.
So
But
you
is
think
that too fast?
You think
Is that like?
yeah.
Does that cheapen the experience of fighting a legendary monster?
Yeah, it
For
does,
most
because
people.
then it fucks up the exclusivity or whatever we're gonna call it for the LG mosaics, the currency that you get. Because like I said, you need like 850 for the full collection, armor and weapon, everything. After that, I mean, already now it doesn't take long to get that amount. If you're halving that time, people are not going to be doing them. There's not going to be any real incentive unless, which I'm heavily suspecting, they're going to add it for some of the new things, some of the real exclusive stuff that we're going to be seeing in the Living Story editions.
And that's well possible, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very likely. I mean, I can definitely see an extension of the systems we see on the POF maps, but I think they also might be a bit different, don't you think? Because how do you guys feel about? We haven't got any. Well, I mean, there are bosses, right? There are legendary bosses at the end of the event chains. We haven't got any. We haven't got any HOT style meta events, or any big ass world bosses. How do you guys?
I mean,
feel about that?
there kind of are. Have you tried the
Necropolis?
the Grand Court of Sibolkan?
No, what happens?
The Forgotten.
What happens?
I have not had such a clutch experience in a long time in this game during that meta event.
Is that
it's
one where you
like
have to kill all the various champions?
you gotta kill. It's a 3-parter, right? You have the event spawns. You have 30 minutes to find and kill the 5 veteran branded Forgotten that are in the area, right? When you kill those, which you're always going to do in like a clutch time, you're going to have like 5 minutes left, even with like 20 people searching the area. That's my experience, at least. They're hard to find because they don't actually pop up in the map. When they're done, the event swaps to the next thing, where you have 5 corners of the Grand Court, where every single one of those needs to be broken with like insane amounts of CC, like every single CC skill you have available to your class, you should bring for that event. You got to break them, or they just explode the entire circ. Like everything explodes from the crystal. When that succeeds, which when I actually did it, we had like 10-15 seconds left on the timer or something before it would explode. What's happening here?
What?
Wait, okay.
What?
No, never mind. I had something weird. There's like 10-15 seconds. Then it swaps to the last bosses. There's 2. There's a giant fucking Hydra, which hits like a truck, and there's a giant Forgotten who summons sparks and like spirals and everything in the entire court. The sparks increases damage by 2% every time they touch him. You got to kill those. You got to keep the Hydra away, both from you and the Circ, and you want to kill the Forgotten first, because once one of the bosses die, the other boss is half revived, and the easiest one to kill is the Hydra, but the Hydra is also the one that hits the hardest. Those 2 bosses, I mean, compared to Verdant Brink or like Mouth of Morgemoth or whatever, it was a good event. It was real clutch.
Okay, so really you're saying that they exist, but people really haven't discovered them yet.
True.
And are they? Is it also that they don't? I heard someone say in chat that Serpent Spire is on a timer, like our HOT maps, and there might be another one that's on a timer. Are they all on timers? Just people don't know what they are yet, or is?
I suspect that.
I
suspect exactly that, but timers. I don't know. I think it's like I think it's a respawn timer. So when it goes down or when it fails or whatever, the timer starts. So it's not really on the clock, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Also, the biggest problem, and here's where people probably agree that it's not really the same as the hot meta events, is that the rewards aren't that great.
But is that another thing that we just don't really know about yet? Because maybe there's some unique items in there that haven't dropped yet.
Maybe.
Like
please, can I someday get the Cormyr infusion? Oh my god, give me that glow.
That confetti infusion. Oh yeah, the glow on Cormyr from the story instance. Oh my god, yeah.
The glow on Cormyr.
Yeah. Oof. Yes.
10 out of 10 would wear.
Why do you guys want to make your characters look like AIDS? What's wrong with you people?
15,000. I would spend 15,000 just to get this one. I don't care. I want it.
You're the only one out of all of us who could possibly spend 15,000 on anything.
Deroir can muster money as well. I'm pretty sure of it.
And muster money.
You guys need to start giving me money.
No, bitch.
Come on.
No.
But like, speaking of infusions, there is one in the game that we know of, and that's the confetti infusion. Which for anyone who doesn't know, the confetti effect is the same as when you win a race. It's the same effect that you get. It's like the quip infusion.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
The quip. No, how is that desirable at all, guys? Like, no one wants it.
Okay. It's an infusion. It's new. Not anyone has it.
It looks like AIDS, dude. They all look like AIDS. Just give it to MMO Inks and no one else can have it. How about that?
No, I want it.
Okay, fine. You can have it.
That's all.
I'm kind of happy that I don't want it because the event is on a 2-hour timer and it only spawns when all 3 of the coin gathering events succeed. And then it's a special event. I know that I'm not going to have
it for like ages and ages, but I still want to, you know.
Is it a countdown or is it sellable?
No, it should be sellable, but there's been 0 on the trading post.
Ooh.
So
Whoa, that's pretty. It's rare then.
Yes.
It's rare as fuck.
Yeah.
It's either
It is very
rare
rare.
or people love it so much that they equip it on all their characters when they get it.
totally.
That's quite possible.
It also drops the things that you can buy from the casino coins, like the vendor.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's a permanent Choya tonic, like Pinata Choya tonic, and a Pinata Choya mini, and like the different kites and stuff. I don't know. But yeah,
Choya on a stick, dude. That's what I want.
I'm debating buying
Choya
that.
on a stick.
Gem
yeah.
store. It's gem store, man.
I know, but it's so good.
Man,
It's
it's
so
like
good,
such a
dude.
good meme that you need it. You're MightyTeapot, come on. You're the living meme.
Fucking
You need
Choya
it.
on a stick, man. Yeah, I mean, I can get it pretty easily. I mean, you can just buy it with gold, right? But anyway, let's have a proper topic here, and that is going to be like the reward level of the expansion. How do you guys feel about the PvE open world rewards? Because I don't know, in my opinion, they're a little bit weak sauce, man. Like, have people not figured this out yet? Do they just not know how to farm properly? Are they noob? Am I noob? But it seems like
Yes,
you can get
probably.
fuck all.
Probably.
Oh, you think you can farm fat gold, Sam, or what?
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
The
Why would I
minis
farm it?
apparently is the way to go right now. Farming farming the different profession minis and selling those. Don't farm the engineer one, that only sells for like a couple of gold. But seemingly the specialization minis drop from the specialization event, like the one that you have to do in order to get the specialization weapon. Like one of the things that you have to do. And so some of them are very rare. Like the Scourge one is a pain in the absolute ass to get, because the event never spawns. It never spawns.
But how long
my
is
God.
the price of those minis going to last, though? Because
Not long,
eventually
but, like,
people who like minis
gotta-
will have the minis.
You gotta get it now. You gotta
Yeah,
get it
so
now,
do
man.
it now, guys. That's your last chance. It'll be gone in a week. The price will go down so much.
Yes. That's what
But yeah,
happens,
they're-
and it's when the
but,
guy
like-
made the video regarding the thing, right?
Can I say though, like regardless of us thinking that there isn't that exclusive, like that huge an amount of exclusive rewards, I'd just like to point out that there are 99 new armor pieces in the game. 99 new armor pieces. We've never had such a huge influx, not since the launch of the game. This is a big deal, guys, and we should really appreciate that, because that's what we've been crying on the forums for ever since the outfits were introduced. 99 new pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some of them do look great.
Yeah.
I must say it's not just like rehashes of other armors, or it's not just the same set base just declined for all of the sets. No, it's actually great, and each of them has their own unique look. But it's still trench coats on medium.
Of course.
What are you talking about?
Dude.
The medium one,
Trenches, man.
the medium spear marshal one is one of my absolute favorite ones. It reminds me of the old
wearing
school
it.
ritualist.
I'm wearing it
cool.
right now. It's fucking great, and I love it, and I'm wearing it. But still, it's trench coats.
I feel
most of the shit is trench coats.
I feel like possibly what they did for POF, one of the things they decided to do was they after HOT they did a post-mortem, looked at all the major complaints that people had about HOT, and then tried to systematically correct those problems people had. So one of the problems I remember people complaining about was not enough new armor sets and such in HOT, armor sets and weapons, and seems like we've got a correction to that. I think people were complaining about the large meta events and Dragon's Den as a thing. So it's possible that there's been a slight correction to that to make it not seem as though the maps are centered around these meta events, and instead we have what we have now, where people are thinking there are no meta events, but there actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good as a theory.
And on top of that, I think also probably a lot of people complained about the difficulty of exploring in the HOT maps. And in my opinion, that is completely solved in all of these maps. These are fantastically explorable maps, really fun to explore, especially because of the mounts. And
definitely.
And so I think they did a good job. I think they did a really good job on POF overall.
Yeah.
You know, Yeah, I don't know.
I'm right there with you. Like everything, the entire
Totally.
pacing of the entire expansion all the way through. Like, I'm over the top happy with it. I really am. Obviously, there's going to be slight mistakes or like missing bits and pieces, but I just like to point out that the best part about the expansion probably isn't the things that we've already seen. It's probably going to be the stuff that we're going to see. And I know that sounds very cliche, but like the whole living world aspect and like what we're going to see coming into the game from now on,
I hope is on that same level. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of the problems. Okay, so that actually brings up a few points, but first I'm going to go back to this point. One of the things that they might have corrected from HOT to POF, which might have been an overcorrection, is the fact that I think a lot of people were complaining in HOT that the masteries felt like a grind to get, like a real grind. And there's a lot of masteries, and it's really grindy.
It's not really a grind in POF.
No,
it's not at all.
Quite the opposite, yeah.
It's quite simple, and there's the 5 masteries, and they're fun to get, good to get, easy to get. But again, I think one of the other things was they didn't do that. Some people had suggested was put some. Actually, that's not true. That's not true at all. All of the masteries do exactly what we were complaining about in HOT, which was that they didn't really have a lore element tied to them. The masteries in HOT,
but
in POF they do. You do the heart quest to get them. For the Griffin mount, it's a huge, like, lots of lore added to that one, actually.
Yeah.
And all of the mounts have some kind of lore attached to them as well, with regards to the environment in which you find them. Like the jackals are kind of like Abaddon things you've converted into dogs, you know. So that's pretty good. The raptor is like obviously, you know, that's one of the first things you do, right? You have to jump over roofs to save people, and you tame the raptor. So
the problem I find though with that overcorrection possibly is that with HOT, for example, I know a lot of people have done everything, but I feel like I will never finish Heart of Thorns.
Yeah.
There will always be something.
And Path of Casual. It genuinely is that.
I think Path of Fire.
Not a problem. Yeah.
I don't feel bad about looking at Path of Fire and seeing that I will be able to finish this one day. Probably a day that's not too long from now, but I will be able to finish Path of Fire. Heart of Thorns, I don't think I ever will, maybe because it seems so daunting and it doesn't make me want to try to finish it.
Yeah, I can fully understand that. Like, comparable to like my experience of Heart of Thorns, it took me 5 months of like hardcore grind and stuff to get every single thing done in the game. Heart of Thorns, right? At this point, a week and 2 days later from Path of Fire, I'm practically done, and I don't regret that. I'm not seeing that as a bad thing. Quite the opposite, actually. I'm seeing it as a very, very positive thing that I don't have that feeling of grind attached to the entire experience.
Are you saying that as a good thing now because you know in 2 months there will be a new release of
Exactly.
If we had a year wait afterwards, you might not be saying the same thing.
That is true.
Maybe not though. Did you enjoy? I remember Deroir like leeching multiple maps, like keeping up participation, multiple maps with alt accounts just to try and get the stupid currency. Was that fun?
Yeah, true. I did not enjoy the whole grind of Heart of Grind. Really.
I don't think that was fun. No, I think the model of Path of Fire is a lot better. I like that you can get the masters really easy. You don't have to do... How much XP is it for leyline gliding? So like 4 million? Or is it
it's 5 million even.
5 million XP for leyline gliding?
5.2 million?
No, and I think the biggest mastery is in the Griffin one. It's like 800k or something like that. It's a lot better, I think.
Yeah.
You can just get all these things. They're all really useful as well. Like, you know,
I think it's very balanced to the point where mastery shouldn't feel like a grind. Like leveling shouldn't feel like a grind in this game. Apparently, it should feel like you're leveling up a bit to use this new feature to explore the world. Yeah. Like that. It's the end goal is not to get there. The end goal is to use it, and that's always kind of been it's always been the thing with like level 80. The end goal is not necessarily getting to level 80. It's what you can do afterwards. And I think they've just incorporated that into the system of the masteries. And I really actually appreciate that. Despite me having consumed like 40 stacks of what's it called?
Experience boosters?
No, the fucking the candy corn.
Candy corn, yeah.
I had like
Candy corn,
I had like
boys.
5 days worth of XP booster, and it was just like I was done in no time. It was I didn't need it at all.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I was really disappointed. I was like, yeah, dude, we're gonna have to grind some fucking mobs.
Yeah.
I had every booster stacked up.
I was so ready for it.
I killed a mob and I gained 15k XP. It's like, well, okay, this isn't gonna take very long at all, is it? You just can just run around in circles killing stuff, and your XP is not really a time limit. You can just. I think I think that was intentional, though. I don't think they wanted it to be like that. I think they wanted it to be the exploration would be the gate. And I think for most people who didn't rush through, it'll be even more the case than for us, right? And most people, the average player who isn't a clown like us, they will be pretty much gated by the mastery points even more so than the XP, because they won't have got all the stupid boosters. But they'll also be taking their time a little bit more. Like they'll be going through. They won't be rushing through everything, trying to unlock everything immediately. So they're not going to run into these barriers, I think. So
So for the non-power gamer, it's probably paced very well.
I 100%.
Yeah. Can we talk about the mounts for a second though, because it raises some interesting questions for the future of Guild Wars 2, especially the Griffin mount. The Griffin mount is crazy. It's like you.
Is it though?
I love it.
With the masteries, when we first thought about mounts, we were like, mounts are great. When we didn't know anything about the mounts coming, they're like, okay, so at first I was like, okay, they're not going to even give you much more fast speed than swiftness. Like they're probably not going to go further than swiftness because they have waypoints. But so now what we've seen from the beta, we were like, okay, so this makes sense. Mounts are great, less waypoints, really fast, really cool. And then, but we also still said there's no way I don't see how they could come out with flying mounts though, still, because flying mounts would be crazy. You'd beat every jumping puzzle in a second, etc., etc. But we have a flying mount. It's a real flying mount. You don't climb from the base of a map, but when you're at somewhere in the middle of the map, you can fly to wherever you want, basically. What does that mean for future maps coming out?
I'd say not necessarily as a fix to the issue that you're presenting, but I'd say a general thing that we're going to probably be expecting is a lot more vertical beautifulness like we've seen in Path of Fire. Like I genuinely was really surprised and happily surprised and stunned with the fact that everything, even the mountains and everything, look really, really good and you can climb it. And that is just out of this world to me. It's always been ever since I started, I've always kind of wanted that feeling of actually climbing a mountain in Guild Wars. And now you can. And now I can with a skipper though, but now I can. And that's a really cool feeling. I think we're going to see a lot of detail to the way that they built them vertically.
And there is a huge amount of detail in the PL one. And there's a great place in the Highlands. You can climb, that giant mountain. You can climb up the entire way.
My favorite area.
So cool, dude! It's so cool, and you can climb up. There's ledges the entire way, and there's a waterfall there as well. And there's a castle. Oh man, oh my god! It's the way you can see the maps in Path of Fire thanks to the mounts, and especially the Griffin. I don't know. I haven't even been playing with the Griffin. I only got the Griffin relatively recently, but it's the maps look so good from the sky, man. They look great.
It's a completely new feeling.
It really. And honestly, I'm gonna have to go and play around with it.
Heart of Thorns
maps. Heart of Thorns and Corteria.
Heart of Thorns
because
maps,
it's gonna put
so much fun with the mounts.
Yeah, it's gonna put such a new perspective on it, and I think it's great for the game, I would say, and future.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's great for previous parts of the game for sure. I love going through Heart of Thorns maps with these new mounts. All of them, they're amazing. It makes it less of a torture to go through the maps and more enjoyable.
The joy of movement, man. The joy of movement.
Exactly.
I had a guildmate go through a full Tyria map completion in 16 hours with the mount.
Yeah, I saw the. I think you can go quicker. You can go quicker than that, right? Because I think on the post didn't the guy say that it was already half done, something like that, and then he only did the end half with the mount, or was that from
probably?
scratch?
That was probably that.
Yeah, So I think map completion is going to be, really fucking fast, man.
But it's map completion for people who've already beat Path of Fire. So it's like you've already come to a point in your game where map completion isn't like a big challenge for someone. So it's not that big of a deal that someone who's gone so far in the game as to get to level 80 and then complete Path of Fire can map complete easily, because they probably already have a character who's done it before.
In order to be fast, you still need to have guides, and only a person who is like doing maps regularly or semi-regularly would go for such guides. For example, using Taco, or at least a written guide that tells you where to waypoint and everything. Like, yeah, having a mount to make it faster is a thing, but you would have to want to make it faster and to have the rest of the material in order to be able to do it faster. So I don't think that mounts have that much of an impact on the regular exploration of core area. Like, you're going to be able to go to places you couldn't before, but it's not going to have an impact on whatever people are going to do with the exploration.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to have a
But the real reason
to bring it back to Boots' original thing, what are we going to see in the future? Like, what are the issues going to be? I can easily foresee like lock off areas for mounts, maybe even specific mounts. But I can also easily see a future where we don't have these like problems. The thing is, like, even though I have all the different mounts unlocked at this point, I'm not flying everywhere, not all the time. Like, there's still incentive to be on the ground floor. And I think as long as there is incentive to be on the ground floor and actually participate in the different things there, instead of just gliding over them, you're going to be on the ground floor. You're not going to be in the air all the time.
Also, it's not like the mount is no clip. Like, you do have at some point to hit the floor. You can't just, once you're in the point in the air, you can't just go up vertically or move anywhere you want. So there are already limits inherently to what the mounts can do, and it's fine like this. It's completely okay.
No, but I mean more in the way of how they're going to have to design new maps, because I assume, I don't know if it's the right assumption, but I assume that the Living Story is going to release some new maps at least. Maybe not the same.
One map every time, man. Let's go.
Maybe not the same cadence.
One map every time, dude. Let's go.
But I think that I know in the Living World, I think some of the maps at least were smaller than normal maps. In like, for instance, the Bloodstone Fen, I think is smaller than the normal maps. But they're going to have to make these maps somewhat large if mounts are going to be a thing on them, because mounts go really fast. So I don't. That's why I don't expect them to put a new map in every single Living World episode, because it seems like it's going to be a lot of development time to make maps that size to be worth it for each one.
They won't make them that big, but I think they'll be bigger than Living Story 3. They'll be bumper size maps, dude, but they're not going to be that big. Because again, the content turnaround is just too fast, isn't it? Right? It's they don't have the time to. They can't make a whole POF map. Like, POF maps are huge, and they are very very content rich as well. So they're not gonna do that. But
Yeah. So, and that also made me wonder about the new. In 2 years from now, I'm guessing there's going to be a new expansion. I'm hoping it's going to be Cantha.
Cantha's 100% confirmed.
Like, it's so good. It's confirmed. It's so guaranteed.
But it also brings into the question, what are they going to do in that case? Because people are going to have mounts. They're going to have to make maps large enough to use mounts on. But at the same time, because of the fact that we now know what I said a long time ago is true, that each expansion is its own product and can be bought separately, Cantha is probably going to be able to be bought separately, which means that there has to be something in Cantha for them to be able to get around the maps fast enough, because they're so big. So they're probably going to have to release a new type of mount or some other type of movement that makes you go around maps fast enough in Cantha as well. In a new expansion, they're probably going to have to release a new mount. They're going to have to get one.
We're going to see a new kind of Nuog Wallow Jackal Portal kind of style thing.
Yeah.
Probably just like sewers everywhere, and you're
Underwater
just
mount.
gonna crawl through the sewers.
You get a mole mount, and it just tunnels.
Give me
A
a mole.
dredge. You get a dredge.
Dude, no. Okay,
Fucking
we're
ride
going
that
too
dredge.
far, guys. We're going too
You
far.
ride the dredge, and it tunnels through the ground for you.
I'm hoping sea turtle mount, because there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot of water because siege turtle mount for the land, sea turtle mount for the sea.
And it has a massive
because the Jade Sea is going to be water now, right? So a lot of Cantha is going to be water. Yeah. And you can use the skimmer to go across. Yeah. Anyway, so we should probably talk more about POF instead of future expansions that we don't know about.
Path of Cantha.
I mean,
But like
path of content, since there is one, we talk about Cantha, yeah.
Speaking of maps, I actually here's a in extension of my my future raid theory, like where it's gonna take place. I think we've already not only seen the map, but I think we've also played on the map twice in this expansion, which is gonna be the raid, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the secret library. Oh yeah,
the library. You think?
Oh, wait a second.
You mean the
Actually,
background
yeah,
of the library, right? In the,
Exactly
invaded
that.
with-
Sam, go like this. Go like this, Sam.
Yeah. Close your ears now, Sam. Sorry.
No, I want to listen
Okay.
to this.
You think this is
I
gonna
wanna
be the
hear
raid?
it.
This is gonna be the
I'm
raid.
here. I'm here now.
This is gonna be the raid. This is gonna be. I guarantee you. And
Yeah.
I'll paint you the picture right here, right?
Okay.
So in before Path of Fire came out, I speculated that in the Mouth of Torment we were gonna see something. What did we see in the Mouth of Torment? We see a giant green portal. All right. Not only do we see a giant green portal underneath. Yeah, underneath. Well, it's a new expansion, new color, right? New raid. Hey.
Oh no, it's green though.
Shh, Boots, listen up. Underneath that portal is a grate. Under that grate is the closed off texture for the astral area. If you look on Teapot's stream right now, in the top of the secret library, at the very top, you see the entrance. You see the top. You see what is in the Mouth of Torment. What is the flooring? You're seeing that on the ceiling in the secret library. We're gonna go through there, and we're gonna clean up Cormyr's mess in there, or Abaddon stuff. But we're totally gonna extend on that. I predict very much that the human story. The human storyline with the gods, especially Cormyr. Now that not only she's a model in the game, she's a mini, which is inaccessible right now. Please, someone correct me if I'm actually wrong, but it is inaccessible. You can only preview it. The human storyline. We're gonna continue that in the raid. We're gonna get some more stuff, more lore, more fights, probably between the minions, the demons, the big ones left behind or gathered forces from Abaddon that are trying to take over the library, like we see in the story. We get a little preview of it.
Yeah.
In the actual Griffin story.
Yeah, the Griffin. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with
That
the demons
thing's
and shit. The demons have invaded. Exactly. So there's gonna be deep. I like that theory. That's a pretty legit. That's pretty legit,
that's
man.
Right there.
But are they demons?
That is actually pretty. There are demons.
They are.
It's ataxes and shades.
It's a weird thing. Like,
exactly.
You go to the.
It's underworld stuff, not Abaddon stuff.
No. Listen up. If you go to the dude in the secret area in the library, right? While you're in that instance, he'll tell you exactly what they are. He'll tell you that they're as leftovers from like Abaddon's control that are trying to take over, and he makes it sound like it's a regular thing that happens whenever Cormyr is like out for like shopping. I don't know.
So hold on a second though. So you're saying ataxes and shades and have.
I'm actually saying that they're probably gonna replace those models once they actually drop in demon models into the game.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's how I see this unfolding.
Because that's all underworld stuff, right? That's not Abaddon.
Which is why it's super weird. Like, why would Grenth, who like Cormyr kind of insinuates she has no problem with, why would he?
Well, for the same reason, Grenth isn't doing anything wrong. For the same reason, the Cormyr's realm is crumbling. the minions of Grenth in the underworld are probably leaving as well, because if Grenth leaves, it seems that since Cormyr left, her realm is crumbling. If Grenth leaves, wouldn't his realm crumble as well?
Well,
Yeah.
So wouldn't they be escaping?
maybe not necessarily crumbling. That's kind of that's the theory that I'm going with here, is that the world wouldn't necessarily crumble. It would just kind of be taken over by something else.
It's left unattended.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like, all the stuff in it is spilling out now.
So like it might just be nothing and things die, and instead of like a full on like world rework or whatever happens in the realm. Yeah.
Okay, so the worlds aren't crumbling; they're just getting invaded by things.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty valid.
A void has been left. Things are moving in.
Void is left.
That's a pretty legit theory, man. But what about the base? Does make a point. What about that portal, dude? In Mouth of Torment, right in the middle, dude. Right in the middle.
Yeah.
There's that green portal there, dude.
And if it's green, that means underworld to me.
Well, it might. That's the thing, because we've actually, and this is where the weird part, or the paradox of my theory actually comes in. It's the coloring and the fact that we've actually already seen a portal to Cormyr's realm, which had like yellow. A sun spear logo on it.
Well, she's gone now, so maybe that explains it. But
the explanation here would, like, as I'd see it, is that it's not necessarily because the portals have to be connected in that way. Maybe the portal is just kind of tormented in itself, and it's just kind of, I don't know. I could easily see it retrofitted to fit the current standing theory of where we're going.
Mm. But is that too close to the actual storyline? Because they've always said that raids need to be disconnected from the main storyline.
Which it will be, because the main storyline is going to take part in Alona, and it's going to deal with Joko.
Yeah.
And it's pointed out by every single NPC in the entire game that you are destined to one day take Turai Asa's place and kill Joko. If you talk to Turai Asa, he will tell you, I can feel it in you. You are destined for this. Like, you are... Yeah.
Yeah. Now
this is where we're going. We're going with Joko. We're going to Vabi. That is the living
gonna
story.
Overthrow him?
The raid is going to be Cormyr.
Hold on a second though. Okay, so we got Joko to deal with. We got Kalkatorg to deal with. So I agree with you on that. Joko is currently in the underworld, or in the realm of the lost.
Yeah.
He's gonna break out, dude.
Obviously, I mean, the guy who's holding him there is gone, so his magic's probably gone as well. But in the old raid, we saw a precursor to a plot reveal in the living story. We saw people trying to get Lazarus resurrected, and then Lazarus shows up in the living world. Is it possible that we're going to see in this raid Joko getting out at the end of it?
And then
I'd be a little bit disappointed, to be honest. I think we might, but I'd be a little bit disappointed. I don't feel like those two should be connected in that way, especially because I think, like, there's already a portal in the realm of the lost. We took it. He just kind of has to find it.
And he's not dead,
himself.
So he doesn't need power to get out or anything. Yeah.
I think there might be a bit of a triggering if they went in that direction, right? I think the way the lore was kind of interwoven with Wings 1 to, well, Wing 3, right, mainly. Wing 2 and Wing 3. I think was kind of a little bit triggering for some people. I think they were going to want to have it pretty detached. I don't think they're going to have any main story plot in the raids, I shouldn't think.
Okay.
I think if there's any character that we might see in the raid pop up again, it's the Eye of Genthier. And that is a far, far out theory,
didn't
didn't the eye get wrecked?
Well, that's kind of the thing. Did it actually just teleport away, or did it die? We don't really know. Well, it goes away in like cool effects and like what's it called, like letters and stuff. I don't know. To me, it could just as well have been a portal to somewhere else.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Soul kind of implied that it's dead though. In the cutscene, don't you think? Like,
but Saul happened
presence is gone.
But Saul was
Saul happened before it came back to kill Lazarus.
That is true, actually. So it could have easily just disappeared again, I guess.
I mean, here's a giant crackpot theory that I'll spoil right here on the stream. Actually, I believe that the Eye of Janthier is either, there's two options. It is either the Eye of Kralkatorrik, or it is a champion of Kralkatorrik. It is one or the other. Yeah.
This entire time?
Watch the trailer for Path of Fire. It zooms out right from his eye. Whoosh! It is the Eye of Kralkatorrik.
It might be. It might be related to Kralkatorrik because it's being used by it was being used by the Mersat, essentially by the White Mantle for the Mersat, and their Mersat are known as like the magical creatures of Tyria. They're the magic users, the extreme magical beings of Tyria in the past. And Kralkatorrik is the magic dragon. He's Puff, basically. He's crystalline, but basically he's pure magic, right? As opposed to the other ones who are based on elements.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it's related in that way. Yeah, it's possible.
Wouldn't that make Guild Wars 1 very weird, though?
It would. But we kind of have to assume that any new information that we receive has to be, I don't know, or any old information we have kind of have to be retrofitted because they didn't think ahead this far. And if they actually want some of the characters to have narrative impact and narrative actual interest or whatever we'll call it, they kind of have to evolve and become more than they were, because the Eye of Janthier back in the day was nothing. It was an object.
That's the main reason I think you might be wrong, is because I feel like the Eye of Janthier has served its purpose in the story.
It probably has, which was why I initialized this entire sentence by saying that this is a crackpot far out theory.
Yeah. I feel like because Eye of Janthier object, all based on Mersat, or the last Mersat is gone, the Eye of Janthier is gone. It's fulfilled its purpose. It helped to defeat the last Mersat. It's done.
Kind of weird.
Yeah,
but
it has
that
no
is
energy source. It's gone. It's dissolved.
This is no. I don't. I'll stick to the point to my point of it not being dead, because I genuinely believe that it was just freed from its chains from the Mersat. The Eye of Janthier is a celestial being. It's just as much as a celestial being as any of the dragons of the gods. You can see it in the new texture and the new design that it has.
So then why do you think he's related to Kralkatorrik?
Well, because Kralkatorrik is a celestial being as well.
So they're brothers?
No, it might have just been a representation. Like say you take a star nebula, right, and you pick out one system here and one system there, and you kind of form out a face. You can easily kind of form out a face, and if we assume that one kind of clump of stars it represents the eye, then that is what is represented in the texture that we see. I can easily see that. I genuinely believe that is a that is a possibility.
I'm getting
This
is some X-Files. This is like some
X-Files
X-Files Illuminati stuff here. Well, this is getting crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You just blew my mind, right? I'm scared.
It's what I used to do. Mind Spike, you know.
Mind Spike, hey!
Bring it back.
This is not tea time anymore.
We need it back.
Hey.
We need it back.
Need it back. You're right. You're completely right. But yeah, that is definitely where we're going. It was actually.
Why else are there pyramids in the Ilonan Desert now?
Why the?
Because of Eye of Janthier. That's why.
It's actually funny because like the pyramid representation, like to take every single one of my thoughts now, because we're already glancing the topic, right? Go to the new instance for the one where we go to Kesho, and we see the cinematic, which shows us the eternal alchemy, the all, whatever we'll call it. It has a new structure now, and those structures are all built out of pyramids. Every single one of them. The pyramid is already also represented in the Path of Fire pre-launch what's it called trailer as well. The eye represents the pyramid, and the pyramids represent a single dragon each and every single six corner of the six whatever form. Take a look at that, keep this thought in mind, and tell me the Eye of Janthier is not related to a dragon.
A pyramid has 5 points?
What? No. The
Four
thing,
down, one up.
dude. Have you not played the story?
No, it's
okay,
try.
yeah.
No, it's
There's like six. It's a six shaped whatever. What is it called? An octagon? Fucking
What?
no. That's
Wait, what? What?
No,
Wait,
six is
wait,
hexagon.
what?
6 is
It's
hexagon.
not a-
Okay,
it's a-
somebody-
it's a
tell me
D8.
this.
What the fuck is
It's
going
a
on here?
D8.
Wait,
hexagon. Thank you. A hexagon.
But it's not a hexagon. It's a three-dimensional hexagon. It's a D8.
All right. Cool. Fair enough.
What?
But it's every single corner is represented with
It's an octahedron.
When I fucking send you a picture, mate. I recorded
Where
it.
have we?
what?
It's not an octagon. It's an
What the fuck?
octahedron.
Give me a second here. I'll blow your fucking mind if you can't look this up yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Wait. How? What? Wait. What is the Eye of Janthier actually? Let me have a
That's
look at
the
this shit,
thing.
man. Let me have a look.
We
at this
don't know
shit.
what the Eye of Janthier
Yeah, the
is.
octahedron. You're
Isn't
right.
it-
The octahedron has 6
No,
points.
isn't it just?
And it's also 2 pyramids stuck together. 2 Eye of Janthiers,
Yeah,
double the
yeah.
power of an Eye
Whoa!
of Janthier.
2 Eye of
The 2 eyes of
Janthiers.
Krakatoa.
Double Eye of. But isn't what the fuck? I mean, what's going on here, guys? I'm confused. The Eye of Janthier is it's a tetrahedron, isn't it?
See, literally,
Janthier is a tetrahedron.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a
watch the
tetrahedron,
entire
right?
thing. You should
And
almost
yeah,
watch the
you're
entire
right.
thing.
There is an octahedron in that cinematic.
Yeah.
I don't know
Which
why
is
it
two
was there,
eyes,
but it
which
was
is
there.
two
You're
eyes.
right.
That's 2 eyes.
It's 2 Eye of Janthiers.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
2. There's 6 of them. There's one in each corner.
Oh, you're talking about the points. Okay.
Yeah.
There's an Eye of Janthier at each point of the octahedron in that cinematic.
Well, that's the question.
This shit is Illuminati.
that-
dude.
Is that
That's
what they're
your way.
representing? This is super Illuminati, guys. Like
Seriously, someone look the shit right now. Is anyone employed by ArenaNet a Freemason, guys? I want that shit now. Guys, chat, I want that. Wait, Deroir, are you a Mason? you in-
I can neither confirm nor deny
He's
this.
fucking Illuminati. Deroir is Illuminati confirmed, boys.
I knew it. Also in one of the cinematics, I think probably the same cinematic, they were showing that after 2, it was the Forgotten trying to get the balance of magic through the dudes, through the Scions, and they had a picture of a pyramid that after the 2 dragons, it got destroyed.
Like,
It got-
watch that entire. Like, okay,
Right.
listening to
And not
my
only
grand-
that, but at the top
listening
of
to
the
my
pyramid,
crackpot
there
theory
was an Eye
right
of
now.
Janthier.
Yeah.
But then
Listen
again,
to-
that might just be America with the $1 bill.
No. Stop that. If you keep my crackpot theory in mind and you rewatch that entire cinematic, trust me.
Okay, right, here we go. We got the
You're
image.
gonna think that is amazing
Do we have the
shit.
cinematic?
Holy shit, dude. Look at the...
That's just an image.
We've got triangles. There's 2 of them. Holy shit, dude. This is confirmed. So what you're saying is this is like 2 eyes, then?
That's
Two
you know what that
two
is.
eyes of Janthier.
You know what that is? 2 eyes of Janthier,
And then you got the
and
cube
that
in the
symbol
middle.
right there, that's the Star David.
Wait,
David, you.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. No. Oh, Kevin. Is Kevin right? Are you kidding me, guys? What the fuck? What's going on here?
Wait. I'll just upload this entire thing because I don't think it's actually on the.
Are you
It's on
anti-Semitic,
YouTube.
Deroir? Is that what's
It's- I
happening
won't-
right now?
Am I what?
Wait, Hannah. Here's the correct picture.
Am I ecstatic?
Wait,
Yes.
what the fuck? Oh my god, you got me. I don't know what to say about this, guys. Like, this is getting disturbing now.
Wait.
You've completely lost me about 15
Yeah,
minutes ago when
I-
it became
I-
all lore and the videos. And have you seen this little detail? And I'm like, have I even watched the
is what I
videos?
do.
Have I watched the same
Oh my
videos
God.
as these dudes?
Yeah, but
what are you
why-
talking about?
Yeah, but it's gone full of conspiracy now, man. Like, it's gone
I'm
even
very
further beyond.
lost.
I am lost.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna talk about content, and then you guys are like throwing all the theories left, right, and center. I'm like, are we playing the same game?
I'm trying to keep up with Deroir's theories.
Yeah,
it's not working.
Deroir is his own pace, man.
You kind of have to like be able to just not think of there being a red thread through this entire thing, and then kind of just go with the flow. When I go with these like unscripted, then you kind of gotta. Yeah, I'm uploading the video here. It'll be up in a second. I'll show you the Illuminati is real.
The Illuminati is real.
Yeah, exactly. Deroir is on a whole new level of woke.
He's just oh my god, he is honestly Alex Jones. Like, this is the Alex Jones of Guild Wars 2, guys. Like, he's just way above all of us.
Buy my
product. Higher
product.
level of conscience. Yeah. I need you to make a video where you sell me a water filter. Like, Deroir is a humble water filter salesman, man, and he sells supplements as well.
Yeah, all the medicine.
Yeah.
It's gonna pull the cancer out of your cells. Yeah.
Look
what you've done, man. Like, people don't even know if they've played POF anymore. Look, I'm starting to doubt if I've even played POF.
This is the best thing. This is the best thing about the story, right? They did it so well that nobody noticed. Nobody noticed, and then it just fucking pops out of nowhere.
They did it so well. Because nobody understands that the entire PF story is just about the Eye of Janthier.
Yeah. Speaking of
Nobody
people not
exposed, holy fuck exposed.
Speaking of people not noticing things, if you go to that shaman's thread right now with the data mine cutscenes, tell me how many people have upvoted the "Oh my God, was Arene in that machine?" Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. Arene is sitting in the giant scorpion machine. Did you see it? Okay, there's like 100 upvotes on that thing.
But it's in the final thing. Well, we shouldn't talk. Sam, take off your.
It doesn't show you though. Like you have to look for it if you want to see Arene.
I know, but it says it. It says the words.
Yeah, if you're following the story and everything, if you're following every beat, you know that she's gonna be in there before you see it.
But not only that, but when you're up there, you say something like "Let Arene out of that thing" or something like that, or "We got to free Arene from that," and. Yeah, it's in the text. I mean, you can't actually see her in it, but
all I'm saying is that there's a lot of people who don't necessarily notice every single detail.
This is true.
That was one of them.
Oh, and so what you're saying is Illuminati.
Illuminati is real, y'all.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So if we're talking about story, like the actual story of POF, not the Janthier, how did you guys like it? Besides Sam, how do you like it so far, Sam?
I think Sam's finished it. He's finished the story. He said it in chat.
Yeah, I have finished the story. Like everyone almost seems to believe I haven't. I just haven't had the time to go back in it, check out all the lore, and like
so then
look
what's
at
the
all the
problem
small
with the
dialogue.
spoilers?
There was no problem with spoilers, and that's what I said.
Okay.
I finished it. I just haven't had time to look at everything, but it's fun.
Okay,
it's actually
all right.
I really enjoyed the story. Like, I must say, I didn't have any expectations. When I went into Path of Fire, I was like, okay, so basically we're gonna kill a god and go through all the Guild Wars 1 lore that I don't know about, unless I watch the entirety of Wooden Potatoes collection when I'm at work, which I can't. And obviously, the third point about my expectation of the story was we're gonna get probably a few reveals that's gonna let them build upon to make living story afterwards. That's all I was expecting from the story. And actually, I have enjoyed it. Like, the storytelling might not have been that great. There might have been a lot of usage of emotion to get us involved in the story when the storytelling should have been the thing that would have pulled us in, you know? I think you guys realize which part of the story I'm making reference to. Some stuff dies, then you feel sad, but that's not the way normally to get you involved in the story. It should be the storytelling itself.
You mean Scruffy?
Definitely.
Of course.
Man,
Snapped eyes.
Man, I love chunks of metal.
Nice spoiler, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was really not expecting anything, but the story has been enjoyable. Like, the instances were good. And there is one specific instance that I loved more than the rest, where you get the recap on all of the story so far. And I was like, that's actually so well thought. Some people are going to start the game with Path of Fire. They get a recap of everything. And the recap was not like embellished or thrown with all the small details that made the story heavy and the storytelling pretty bad from before. It was just, polished, the bad parts left out, just a good transition, and then the epitome of the Path of Fire story was just clean. The instance was fun. The ending was open, of course, and just overall a good experience. So I have enjoyed the story.
Yeah,
me too. They did so many things in the story. This story that either they haven't done in other story instances that or that they just did perfectly in Path of Fire as opposed to other things but it's just so good. They did so much better job than I thought they could do. It was really fun to play the story. Wooden Potatoes noted that in the Desolation, it seemed a little bit more rushed because you're in there for one instance maybe. I think that probably actually, which is actually maybe not a knock on the story, I think that some things were actually cut from the Desolation. I think they probably had extra instances in this Desolation, but they cut it for pacing. Because at the end of the instant that you do in the Desolation, you say something along the lines of, okay, everybody split up, look for information on our targets, and then we'll meet up and do the target stuff. And then everybody just meets up and does the target stuff, and you don't actually look for information for anything. And so I assume that there was one, maybe two, possibly even three other story steps in the Desolation where you all split up and look for information on your military targets, but they cut it due to pacing.
Do you think that would have been in the open world though, right? They would have done that.
That would have been. It would probably use the Order of Shadows. It would probably be very involved with that because you don't touch upon the Order of Shadows really, except for talking to that one guy every now and then.
The events have gotten me super tired. Like the achievement events have gotten me super tired of the Order of Shadows. Holy shit! Oh my god! Like you gotta. It's one of the two achievements that you really gotta grind for, and oh my god, it hurts. It hurts my soul.
What are you grinding?
You gotta repeat one event like X amounts of times so you have 200 tokens.
Oh god.
And it's the same event, just going back and forth, delivering notes, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
I'm
so glad
subject yourself to this stuff, man.
So glad.
It's some brutal stuff.
It's a one-time deal, but now I have the permanent portal spike, so there's that.
Yeah. I think there's definitely something to be said for the fact that the end of the story it wraps up quickly, right? The first half there's some pace to it, but it's moving along at a reasonable pace, and things happen. There's a good chunk of development, but then certainly towards the end, I don't know. Maybe they wanted it to be like that. They wanted it to feel like there's a lot of urgency to it. Like, oh, we got to do it now, man! Like Balthazar's gonna fuck us up. And so
that's what I'm thinking because that was one of my main complaints with HOT because the whole thing was rushed. The whole thing was like a rush through the forest trying to get to your friends and kill the dragon, but at the same time, there were pacing issues. Like it says, you lost your friends. We have to go after them right away. But then, oh, you know what? Actually, let's just help these frogs for some reason for a second in between. Like they're about to die, but that's okay. The frogs are here. We have to befriend them because they'll guide us through the forest. But no, we don't actually need them to guide us through the forest because Rox is just going to put rocks on the floor.
Yeah. And we're going to lead us to it. It's good.
Yeah. So I think that there were pacing issues in the HOT story, and those they probably might have been pacing issues in this one had they not made some intelligent decisions and cut some things. And I think they did do that.
Speaking of intelligent decisions, what I also enjoyed from the Path of Fire story was that, we can kind of like agree, all of us, on one point is that the Living Story, like the season 2 of the Living Story, the Heartathorn story, were kind of average storytelling-wise, but they still insisted on taking back specific parts of it and tie it into the Path of Fire story so that we actually understand what was happening. Like Balthazar coming back, being an accident created by a certain character that got lost in a certain place after he completely fucked up and decided to go in that certain place by his own, everyone has played it. I can just stop saying random character and place and whatever.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. So like the moment he goes searching for his sword, and then you have like this huge ellipse, and then randomly you have the Heart of Notori, and he's just back. He's just like, hey guys, I'm back. Hey, I got my sword. Everything's fine. Let's roast the dragon. We're good. And you're just like, that makes no sense, dude. You've been gone for super long. You just randomly pop back and you do your shit. No. But in Path of Fire, they actually go back to that part and finally explain to you what has happened. It brings a new character, then you understand why this character had such an impact in the third season of the Living Story, and everything pieces back together. But it took going to Path of Fire. They made the effort to just give us the missing piece of the puzzle to understand why everything happened that way. Because, I mean, a god randomly popping back up, disguised in Tyria, you're like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Mystery.
It's crazy also that Sahothin was restored by Balthazar at his lowest power.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, it's just a flaming sword, right?
But it was a flaming sword that we used to kill
him.
So it's that powerful. It's powerful enough to kill a god.
Yo, man, I'm just gonna tell you one thing. You know, there is this moment in your life when you're gonna make a barbecue with your dad, and you lay out all the charcoal, you know, under the barbecue, and then all it takes is a little spark on top of the oil, and you get a huge ass flame. That's so often. That's literally how it works. And just because you're the one giving the spark to it doesn't mean that the fire can't burn you.
So, but then why couldn't you just, like, you know, flint and steel it? Why did he need Balthazar?
Because magic boots.
It's a magic fire. I mean, it's an ever burning fire, I guess.
Yeah, something like this. I mean,
I
what about the lore? Like, there were the twin swords, but I'm not too good on Geor's one lore, so maybe Deroir, you got our backs on this one?
You mean Magdare?
Yeah. Like, there were two swords. What was the origin of it? Like,
that's probably the biggest clue as to the sword not being tied directly to Balthazar, is the fact that it has a twin sword. Yeah. Because that would imply that there is another godly being kind of thing, I guess, tied to blue flames, which we don't really know. I don't know. Like, it's a stretch, and I think that would be the biggest clue as to debunk this one.
Yep.
Mingus. Can I? Speaking of gods, actually, like going away from the sword for a second. Speaking of gods, can I try to blow your minds again? Can I go full woke again?
I'm ready.
Guys, the Illuminati in the chat, guys. Let's go.
There's a single NPC which I only noticed during my third run through of the story. There's a single NPC that if you talk to them, they will tell you. It's like a one line dialogue. Actually, let me read this to you because it's kind of interesting. I took a screenshot of it. Give me a second here.
Okay, here we go.
And it relates to the gods. There we go. Cormyr was once a human. Then she became a god. I wonder if it is possible for that to happen again. Perhaps a long time from now, Tyria will make gods again.
Dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun, whoa.
Dun. Just will make gods again.
Tyria.
Dragon gods.
Tyria will make it. They're not humans. They're not they're literally manifested from the Tyria.
But
Tyria is the
are you talking about the gods, or are you talking about the dragons right now? The gods aren't from Tyria.
Well, apparently they're from the system that we refer to as the All, which is Tyria. Tyria is at the center of it. Tyria is going to be the one that determines it. Apparently, I don't know.
I think that's very Tyria-centric thinking there, man. I think you gotta.
This is
understand that the mist doesn't revolve around Tyria.
Well, apparently
Tyria revolves around mists.
Well, we saw that a long time ago, though. That it does.
Someone will absorb the dragon magic then, or something. Someone like a dragon will flow into someone that turn to a god. Easy.
The NPC that says this is one of the librarians in the secret library.
Well, actually, Deroir,
yes?
can I ask you a question? Another lore question, because you're much better at this than I would be. There was a question that I had concerning the Bloodstone. So basically, it can be used to store magic, right?
Right.
And the problem that we have currently is if a dragon dies, too much magic is released, people get killed, more or less.
Right.
Okay, then what prevents our favorite Asura and her clique from coming up with a device to store magic?
Well, nothing really.
Yeah, because that was a question that I had. Because she can make devices powerful enough to like poke at dragons.
I mean,
freeze the dragons.
She's not going to be able to create a device just like that's going to be like apropos what's it
just
called?
A huge battery, bro. Just a huge battery.
Huge battery.
That's weird. What they've gone with here is that they've not created it necessarily. They've we have Aurene. Like Aurene is that battery.
True.
So yeah.
But like,
I don't know, like,
if we
speaking of
store
that,
Krakatorik
kind of-
inside of her,
We see that kind of at the end where she absorbs much of Kralkatorik's magic, and like if you look, Balthasar, sorry, I was thinking of Kralkatorik, but like if you look into the sky, you can also see Kralkatorik just kind of vacuum the rest of it up as well.
Yeah, he was
really
just
bastard.
taking a sip, just taking a sip.
Really cool view. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's having a little bit of a.
By the way, did you see that picture on Reddit today where you just see the head of Krakatorik and the shatter in front of it?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Nice comparison. Damn.
So that actually raises a very important question for me. How the hell did Destiny's Edge expect they were going to kill Krakatorik with a spear?
Right in the eye, dude. Right.
I mean,
dude, it's like he has one weak spot.
It's like Bram and the arrow. It's Bram and the arrow right now.
Dude, it's because his eye is the eye of Janthe. If you hit him in the eye, it dissipates him.
Exactly. It's like the crazy thing. I think if you read the actual novel, it says that like Ridlock just charges in with the spear, and like imagine standing in front of that mountain and just like charging in. Like
it's not gonna work.
You already imagine someone charging the Shatterer, and it's already looking stupid. And then you see the head of Krakatorik, and you're like, no. And probably the eye of Krakatorik is bigger than the surface of my apartment.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy. And damn, that was incredibly awesome, man.
Jump up to the eye.
That last instance was so good, dude. Like
It was cool.
Yeah, man,
It looked so good.
Like they really put. You think that for something that's only going to be used once, probably because it's only one story instance, they've put a lot of effort into it. So that just shows the effort they've put into the story once again.
Yeah, it's so I think that's so important, though. I mean, that's super important compared to like the Zaitan fight. I mean, it's well done. It's very well done, and I think as a culmination of a story, it's super important. So I was just thinking though. Okay, so what was I trying to think? Oh yeah. You're right though. It was so beautiful because I think the first time I got up there, the first time I completed the story, all I did was sit there, turn off my UI, and take pictures for like a minute until I died the first time.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah. I was playing it with a friend, and he basically died within 30 seconds because he was just derping around, and I told him, while you're right there on the floor, could you at least take some cool pictures? Because this is really cool. If I can take it back just like a few steps actually, because somebody reminded me of something that someone in chat reminded me of something that we're actually told in the story, and it's the fact that we shouldn't store magic. There should always be beings who are willing to share the magic and let the magic flow between them, like basically guardians of of magic, kind of dividing it between themselves and having a synergy.
But I think that right now the dragons are not that, right?
No, that's the dilemma. The dragons aren't that, but you need like Blast and Aurene and stuff like that.
It's really interesting because this brings me back to like way back when, during the first season, I think, of the Living Story, I had this theory for the Pale Tree, that I thought was going to be the true reason for the Pale Trees being. And it turned out it wasn't. It was a ally of Mordramoth. It was a minion of Mordramoth. But I thought that the Pale Tree was an invention of the gods to be exactly that, because energy from the dragons gets dispersed, goes into the land, makes it bad, and the Tyria needs some new entity, and I thought it was going to be the Pale Tree that could suck up that energy and disperse it through its roots back into the ley line, or through the dream, disperse it back into the mists. But it looks like obviously they still need that, but it looks like it's probably going to be Aurene instead, and not the Pale Tree.
Yeah, I think there's been some setup for that as well. That was kind of our goal, right?
I'm just waiting
character.
I'm just waiting for the moment she's going to consume so much magic that she will just turn onto the main character and
turns evil, and we have to put it down.
Yes.
Then we're back to killing all the dragons, and then we drain the dragon. Like Timey, okay, for once Timey can do something good. Timey makes a giant syringe. We drain Aurene and inject it into someone else. We make a new god. Easy.
Easy.
Done. Who would we make out of our party into a god, given the choice?
Kanach.
Bron.
Kanach. He deserves to be a god, dude. He's had a hard life, dude. Okay, he's had a hard life.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
Resurrect Tibble? Spoilers, man. Fuck. Yeah, no, he's
spoilers. Wait, isn't
the spoilers from the first from the personal story.
From the personal story, exactly. Yeah.
No, I mean at this point, resurrect Traharn. Like Traharn, come on.
No.
As a god, that would be a really good troll. That would be a great troll because because everyone never really liked him. And if he turned into a god, that would be a Cormyr V2. That would be great. That would be really cool. Joko, we use Aurene to bring back Joko.
Does it have to be a human that becomes a god, by the way?
Well, technically not.
I don't see why not. Yeah.
I mean,
it's just that Chars don't have gods, so Char becoming a god.
Speaking of replacing gods, actually, Cormyr, let me present all of you, and please in chat don't blow this out of proportion. But let me present you all with a paradox to the story, which is kind of meh a little bit. So Balthasar had all his powers taken away and locked up, which is cool and fine. But even in the story, Cormyr tells us, "Do you know what happens when gods fight?" And she explains about what happened when they took away the powers from Abaddon and chained him up. What happened with Balthasar? Where's the carnage there? What actually, did they just this is mine now? You're locked up. Sorry, bro.
Maybe it's in a bloodstone somewhere.
Because apparently there was a battle between the gods, the one that she's now refusing to help us with in the story. It did take place. They did chain him up.
Pretty easy, actually. Much easier than what we had to do.
They kind of did everything beforehand, and she's like, "Nope, we're not going to do it again." Because do you know what happens? So what happened with Balthasar? Nothing.
Yeah,
but
it happened in the last 250 years. It couldn't have been that bad.
But also, it is heavily insinuated that not only did they take the power away from him, there is already a sixth god, or I guess we'll call it a seventh, but she says Balthasar is not one of the six, and she heavily insinuates that there still is six, but he is not one of them.
What does she say to insinuate it?
Go through the story. I remember. I don't remember the exact wording, but
so they replaced him. Then is what you're trying to say here.
She replaced him with something.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Mingus.
Maybe it was Arachnia.
Arachnia.
Well,
why is Arachnia a war god?
There's even a Black Widow. I mean, I know that's a GW1 Easter egg, the Black Widow in the realm of the Lost, but
yeah.
What do you think in reference to
why Mingus? Why not Arachnia?
In reference the battle of the gods, don't you think Cormyr was talking about what would happen if they actually went on the battlefield in terrestrial? On the Earth, on the planet, on the disc, because Tyria is flat. You know,
Yeah.
like maybe
It's
that
probably
because of the
curious,
destruction that
man.
would have happened if there was that battle there, as opposed to like them just slapping him a little bit in the mists, just going crazy.
Yeah, it's probably the reason why it was so easy there is because they were in the mist, they were in somebody else's realm, maybe Dwayne's realm or something, and just sort of ganged up on him there and was like, "Oh, you're done."
Yeah.
But I think all the other gods besides Cormyr had already left, right? So it would have to be Cormyr versus Balthazar. Maybe Cormyr just thought, you know what? There's no way I could take this on. I'm peacing out.
Well, I mean, couldn't it's 5v1, dude. Maybe 6v1.
5v1.
I mean, come
But
on.
it was 5v1.
It's
with,
reminding me
Abaddon
of
as well.
some fucking Gandara Romas, man. Like it's easy, dude. Like you can't, you can't
You're
lose
saying
that.
the gods are Gangdara?
Yeah, the Gandara, man. That's
Nice.
That's what it is.
So the gods are gone. I'm still looking forward to expansion 4. Guild Wars
What
2.
about
Expansion 4,
What about
expansion 3, dude?
Like, can we start with
Expansion
like,
3's can't, though. We've already decided.
Oh,
Expansion
oh,
3 's
oh,
can't.
Wait, we're thinking like expansion 4.
Expansion 4 is going to be Guild Wars 2 in space.
in space?
In space?
But Guild Wars 2 is already in space. We're literally
Follow
at the center.
the gods.
We're literally
We're not
at
at the center. Tyria is not the center.
No. Can you like go to the Mistlock Sanctuary, the new thing? Look out in the distance. You see the rift. That is the center of the mist. You're seeing that in the distance. You're seeing that in the Shattered Observatory. We're in space. You're in the mist.
Right. Okay,
In the
so
mist.
you're not talking about Tyria
Like-
right now. You're talking about the Shattered Observatory.
Yeah.
That
That's
yeah.
not Tyria.
That's
That's not Tyria. That's literally
not
just
Tyria.
a place somewhere else.
that is
Yeah.
Guild Wars 2 and not the
Whoa.
Tyrian space that you're going with. I'm just saying we're already.
We're
been-
already, yeah. I mean, we already know
Okay,
that there
fair.
are. We're already aware that there are other celestial bodies for sure, right?
Yeah, so there's no reason to have an expansion to follow the gods into the mists.
But-
Then.
But going to a new
Raid.
sphere, a new body would be cool, though, right? Because I mean, that's what they did with World of Warcraft. I was like, yeah, right, we're going to Outland now. You know, let's go
not
to
gonna
another
happen.
plane.
There's-
It's possible, man. You could go
Well,
there.
we have so much space that we've never even seen. Like even in the data mined maps from like way back in season 2 that people data mined, there's a lot of space that we've not even seen in Guild Wars 1.
I thought that Shattered Observatory was like tied to the lore of the Shattered Fractal, and it was all like a place that he designs.
No, technically he tries to build a machine to collide all the different fractals. That is the DDR, the
Dance Revolution.
Dance
Yeah.
Revolution machine. Is supposed to refract light. What is it? What is it called? The something refractor. It's supposed to refract light, which is what they represent fractals as. They are. He basically puts them as source, like say we're treating them as just light particles, right? You want to refract them all into one beam. And the only place that he feels that he can do that apparently is at the very center of the mist where all of them collide. And so he goes there, he goes to the very center of the universe to pull everything together. And the problem is you can't pull everything together without destroying everything. And that's the conundrum that he's in. It's like, do you want to destroy everything, Dessa says, or do you want to just leave it as it is? Like leave it in this endless time loop. And so he does, and the story repeats. It is a fucking great story, guys.
It is,
tell you
dude.
that.
Yeah, it is, man.
It is.
It's whoa.
It's good. It's sad. It's good,
Yeah, it
though.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Fractal story is spot on.
It
Yeah.
is.
The Path of Fire story, spot on.
Yeah.
And I love how it was throughout the entire, right from the start, it was being hinted at. Like, not obviously the new character with Ark was brought in much later, but right from the start, it was being hinted at with Glenna, and yeah, pretty cool.
It's a very well the story the Fractal story. They basically took a grand scale concept at the very start when they introduced fractals. They took a grand scale concept that they didn't think that they were going to expand. I don't believe so, genuinely, that they didn't think that they were going to expand and explain at any given time. And then they figured, all right, we're expanding the fractals anyways. Why not tell the story of what the fractals are? And so they did. They finished what they started. And it was It was a good ending. The
It
Shadow
was.
of Swords was
Yeah, there's a lot of juicy
Great
lore
addition.
there, man. The story was hype as fuck.
And I mean, it still makes you think pretty hard about whether Tyrion is just another piece of the fractal, and the
No,
gods
that's
are
going
just
too far.
And-
though.
and the gods are just fractal.
Is it though? Is it though?
Creators.
I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
why else are all the events on a timer?
That, I think it might be a game. I think it might be a video game, man. Just real
All right.
What?
To bring back to Path of Fire, I guess. Away from the practice. So.
I mean, just the last point
okay.
before we move on. You know, all of these theories about fractals and everything. There is another video game series that it makes me think about. I don't know if you guys ever played them. It's Suikoden. I mean, my pronunciation is horrible because obviously I got the French version of the game, but it's a video game series like a Japanese RPG where you have all of these words that are interconnected at the same time, and it's the same people but living different stories at different timelines. But all of them are connected together, and you can decide to collide them, keep them separate, move freely between one and the other, and each of them has their own story that is consigned differently. So just all these theories about fractals make you think about these games. I don't know if the storytelling of Guild Wars 2 is maybe picking a little bit of the storytelling of that JRPG. Who knows?
Maybe. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
But yeah, Palawa Joko, guys. Palawa Joko.
Yes.
That's totally. Do you know that he's bisexual? And then we're gonna move on from that point.
Dude, like you seen that harem, dude? You seen that shit? Like, yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
dude, yeah.
That was the funniest thing ever.
You got
They
the
just-
harem in there.
I'd
you got
say-
you got the fucking choir in there. That shit's fucking legit, man.
Everything about Vabi is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just like, first of all, I love how the whole thing is like a pretty obvious but awesome representation of like the North Korea right now. It's like the right when you enter it, there's a guy who says, "Come talk to me. I want to talk to you about the situation here," and it's basically a monologue about how tyranny is not so great, and this person is seen as a god for these people, and it's all misinformation. It's also a little bit of current the misinformation, the
CNN?
when you
Fake
no
news?
Yes, exactly. But you talk to the people in the schools are being taught the wrong things.
Yeah.
There, it's really it's pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
it is. It's
Pretty
really
good commentary on the world. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It's really cool, and how they all want to be awakened, right? That's like a desirable thing for these people.
Mhm.
Is to become an undead minion.
That's right.
That's dude, they're disgusting. Like, those undeads are disgusting, man. Like, you'd think if they've got this process down, becoming an undead, like, why are they all nasty and shit? I guess some of them are really cool though, actually. That's true.
Yeah, and you talk to the guy and you're like, well, let's just finish this all up. Let's defeat Palawa Joko and break up this whole administration. And they're like, well, hold on there. As soon as you go in,
Well.
you can't just go in and destroy their civilization and then pull out because
Then you're gonna leave it to ruin.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's very geopolitical right there. Very good commentary. Yeah.
Very good commentary.
And Nike was talking about how Palawa is kind of comic relief. I don't. How is he going to be an intimidating villain, man? Like, honestly, you can call me immature, but damn, like, wouldn't it be great to have like a raid where it is kind of not that serious? It's
I
not
feel
that
like-
serious because Bastion was very serious, right? It was quite a dark. Like it kind of like you had stuff like Samurg, it looks like a badass. Yeah, then you also had like Mercer Obza, which is a little bit kind of silly or funny, but then again, it's kind of still serious. And you have Demos, he's got arms, he's like torturing swords, fucked up. It's cool. Wouldn't it be kind of cool to have a bit of a lighthearted instance though? Because that's I don't know. I feel like that's something that Guild Wars 2 could execute really well, right? With just loads of like stupid jokes the entire round, like Palawa taunting you as you go through the instance or something.
Yeah,
like
but
you
would
beat
that,
each of his minions? I don't know. For me, that would be really funny.
I think that would be really great. I just don't know if, but maybe in the Living Story coming up, but just not in the Path of Fire story at like the culmination of the plot to the end. Like you're in Vabi, you're almost on the story. Having like that lighthearted moment would have been a little bit of a jarring moment in your pathing, in your pacing.
I feel
like
that way though, right?
Yeah, I feel like Palawa Joko is the perfect villain to be introduced at this point because he's not that super menacing guy. He's he's the guy that to a certain degree you're able to empathize with and understand where he comes from, right? You can see him as an actual character. We already have like sidelining the Joko story, constantly, like it's never going to go away. Is Kralkatorrik, which is this menacing, huge enemy, brooding force that is just looming over us. We don't want there to be just endless amounts of the same of these kinds of menacing bad guys. We want there to be some differentiating storytelling, and I think Palawa Joko is going to be a very interesting one. Like you said, Sam, Scarlet 2.0, but like do Scarlet well, and the story is very easily empathized with.
I mean,
but I don't know if it needs to be
like
Scarlet.
I found Scarlet
but like
to be
I
fine
think
back in the days, you know. Like I might be alone on that thought, but Scarlet was fine. She seemed like a bit of a clown, but if you looked at everything she was doing behind the scenes, you would be thinking, damn, actually, she is like both a mastermind, the true evil we might be fighting right now, but also the one that has the key to the rest of the story. It was good. Like in my opinion, it was a good character, looking back at it.
I completely agree, but I didn't feel it at the time. When Scarlet first was introduced, she suffered from the fact that she didn't have the backstory. We didn't know what to empathize with. She was just bad for the sake of being bad. But now that we have all the puzzle pieces and you look at the character, it seems like a very well-developed character. The fact that it was just neglectfully, let's use that word, executed or haphazardly executed, it was a bit of a shame, but the story.
But was she not bad for the point of being bad though? She's screwed up the world on purpose.
No, it kind of turned into like she got taken over by Mortemoth and everything, and she was trying to resist the whole inner struggle that every single Sylvari was now going through in the Heart of Thorn story. But you don't really get that story told very well because it's kind of mysterious. It's kind of under the surface, and you only got the information at the very end.
Yeah,
so Scarlet felt very shallow until the very end. And so I know a lot of people on Reddit has been talking about the anchoring effect, and that's probably because the game what's it called? The game guys on YouTube talked about the anchoring effect. But like the anchoring effect is very strong in characters. Like you're introduced to something which doesn't really work, and so you're going to look at it in a bad light all the way through. But like if you revisit it, I think Scarlet is a really good character. On that point, Joko going forth, we now have a lot of his backstory. We have a lot of his intentions and like where he's coming from, which is he's a very
fleshed out character.
Yeah, which is why I think the main reason we even saw Palawa Joko in the Path of Fire expansion and heard so much dialogue from him was to build up to the fact that there was some hatred, there was some vitriol under the surface.
Some reason for him to not.
Yeah, there's a reason for him to be the bad guy in the next one, even though he doesn't necessarily seem like the bad guy to everyone.
Well, he does seem sort of
but like
in
Vabi, like he's a dictator, but he does all these good things. You know what I mean? He's a very multidimensional character. And I think that's going to be his absolute strength, because some people are actually going to empathize with him, even though he's the bad.
Hopefully, yes, that's true. I was actually hoping that Balthazar would be that kind of character a little bit more than he was in Path of Fire. Unfortunately, in the end, it didn't really work out that way. I guess I don't know what happened to him, but his revenge drove him mad, I guess. His search for revenge, because he was very one-dimensional by the end, or two-dimensional, I guess.
What was he though? I mean,
I don't know if it was. Yeah.
Wasn't it more like he was like, well, I don't really give a shit about you guys. I'm taking all this power. It's mine now. Lol.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess his hubris of being a god was his downfall
Pretty
because
much,
he didn't think that anybody could defeat him.
Yeah.
He just didn't
I mean,
really
that's
give
what
a
he
shit.
says. He's like, I'm the god of war, which in his opinion places him above the other gods. He's like, I'm the only one allowed to kill people, to slay the randoms around. I'm basically the king of gods because I'm the one who can war against the others.
Yeah, and he was talking about how he was like, well, I am conflict, like, dude, like, what's the point of me if there's no fighting? So like they got pissed at him, they locked him away. He was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna Rillo's gonna set me free, and I'm just gonna go ham and just start killing all the dragons, taking their energy. And then he was like, well, I'm gonna go get my revenge after I've got all the dragon energy. I'm gonna kill all the other gods, take their energy. Yeah. So basically, they just pissed him off, and then he decided that he would kill them. That's basically how it went. So
don't piss off the god of war, I guess, is the
That's a classic setup for
it is a classic setup. I don't think that's. I mean, you could definitely say that's. I think calling that one-dimensional would be unfair. Actually, I don't think that's one-dimensional at all. I think that's perfect.
I didn't feel like he was lacking that either.
I felt
the motivation.
No,
I think his motivation was pretty well developed. Really,
he has a fine motivation, but it's a revenge motivation. So it's like. Kill Bill motivation. At the same time, I love the movie Kill Bill. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, but it's pretty straightforward. But in Kill Bill, even there seems to be a little bit more behind it. Like I didn't dislike it. I just think that you could have. I mean, there's so much backstory to Balthazar, and there's still so much backstory to Balthazar that could be hashed out. It just seemed like I hope it's not another Scarlet situation where you find out more about it later. Unfortunately, it might be. It's like. There's a lot to him, but in what we've only got to see was him being a douchebag.
Well, yeah, but he's the god of war. I mean, that's what do you expect, right? I mean, So
is that all we could expect from all the gods? Are all the gods just the god of nature, the god of
that is kind of like
truth?
That, though, right? I mean, they are supposed to be these facets of various aspects of the world, right? You know what I mean? So surely aren't they a little bit focused by design, right? That's what they're supposed to be. Yeah. And his whole being is about fighting and conquest.
So does that mean that Cormyr could not tell a lie?
Well, I would imagine not, right?
I would imagine no, she wouldn't.
Yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But Cormyr becoming a god made her lose a part of herself for sure. Because she's no longer able to do certain things.
It just kind of emphasized one feature of her so heavily that it dwarfs
she was already
the
truthful
opposite.
in life, so as a god, she's always truthful.
Speaking of characters that we kind of lost in the on the way, Last. What did you guys think about Vlast? Like,
I didn't see it coming, man. Like, they was we're gonna meet a Dargan, dude. We're gonna meet a Dargan, but boom, dead.
Yeah, he kind of entered the story and then died.
Yes, immediately.
Which is why I think actually.
I mean, he pulled an Air V2.
I think there's a very strong possibility because if you remember back Teapot to Gamescom when we were talking with Mike and we were talking about the future of fractals, and he said that now that we're going to a new area, we have a lot of new stories we want to tell. I think this is one of the stories that they want to tell. Vlast. I think Vlast is going to be in a fractal.
So like him fighting or something? We'll be fighting alongside him in a fractal or something? I think actually not him that we're going to be fighting against. Fighting for. I think we're going to be working towards him at the very end. I think we're going to be fighting with the Master of Peace, and I think we're going back into Glint's lair in a third rehash of the instance to actually follow the story of the Master of Peace and the Sephirotes and everything that brought Aurene into the world from the very start. To get that full circle, I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I think that's something that's definitely entirely possible because they had there was something like that in Guild Wars 1 as well, right? With the challenge mission thingy, to get the armor pieces. Like I think having something similar to that, they could even do something very similar to that actually. For a nice little reference to Gauls 1 actually. So yeah, I think that's definitely something that we could see and very like, and it would be awesome as well, right? Because that is something that we do have a bit of lack of development on. I mean, the character was hyped up, right? I mean, the character was hyped up a bit in the opening of the story. It's like, oh, whoa, dude, another dragon, whoa! And then okay, he took a spear for us, man, but that wasn't even necessary, right? Because we know now that we can just come back from the dead, even if we get killed.
But could you have
just
done
come
it?
back anyway, right?
Yeah, but we wouldn't have expected it. Like, come on, you take a spear, you're supposed to be dead, and a certain Asura that we find the golem of sort of died, you know. Usually when you're pierced in the stomach by something, you die in the Guild Wars 2 universe.
But then you can get revived. I mean,
yeah, but hashtag Snaf. Poor dude.
Press
we
F.
actually find the remnants of the fight.
Oh yeah, of the golem, right? That was really that was really nice actually. With the spear and
I love this. I love the second novel, and I was like, oh shit, no. Yeah. And the person I was playing with hadn't read the book, so I was like, alone with my sad feelings. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt bad about destroying that spear. It kind of like ended the Destiny's Edge. It ended what they were all about. Yeah.
Well, it was a weird decision, right? Because if you think about it, we didn't actually. I mean, Balthazar didn't even want the spear really. He was just gonna, take Kralk Torok on his own anyway. Yeah. So it was a weird. But
I'm also kind of glad that it doesn't exist anymore, because then somebody else would be like, I'm taking this spear and killing Kralk just like Bram's doing with the bow and Jormag. It's like, I don't know if that's really gonna.
We know it's a terrible idea now as well, but it's ridiculous, right? Like, so, good job, Bram. You scratched the tooth. You did 1% to the tooth. Great job, man. You've only got a few more, like another 100 teeth to go, and you've slightly chipped his teeth. You'll slightly damaged him a little bit. And I was like, oh wow. And like, oh yeah, we got this spear, dude. Oh yeah, you're gonna scratch Kralk Torok with that thing. It would be we've already discussed. It's hilarious. It's amusing. Dude, it's
come on, if a mosquito can give you a deadly disease by attacking you with its extremely small
proboscis
dart or whatever, proboscis. Whoa. Follow me first. I mean, if a mosquito can kill you, you can kill Krakatorik. I mean, the size is pretty alright.
It just has to resonate. It just has to resonate at the right frequency. But yeah, so going back to the Lost Souls thing, you could just come back from the dead. I don't know if you had been killed when Vlast saves you. If you had been killed at that time, I don't know if you could come back from the dead there, because I think that your purpose that you've had to find through that thing was so strong at that moment that you actually do come back, because there is immediate threat and danger to the thing you are a champion to, Aurene. But there wasn't immediate threat and danger at that time when you might have been first killed with Blast. I think maybe when the comeback from the dead, Blast really did save you.
Yeah, probably. Speaking of Blast, actually, I have one thing to add that I just remembered. He has the spike that goes through his head actually goes all the way through his mouth as well. If you look in his mouth, the model is it has like a giant green spike in his mouth. It looks really weird. I think it's a mistake. Sorry, I just had to add that. I just kind of had to add that.
Just the Royer stuff. This makes no sense. The models are wrong.
Exactly. No, but like it's a cool model. It's a really cool model. So I just kind of walked around it and looked at Vlast and stuff, and I noticed there's a giant spike.
Maybe he is related to the mouth of Mordramoth.
Yeah, he's mimicking Daddy.
It's symbolism, dude. It's symbolic.
Yeah.
They all
maybe it's like in The Departed with the X's. You knew as soon as you saw him, you knew he was gonna die. It's foreshadowing. Yeah. All right. So, are we good with story? I think we.
I could continue this for hours.
I think we could talk a lot about this stuff. But yeah.
I think we could. And it was good.
Do we have anything else specific to address?
I'm pretty much done. I mean, I have other things, like we could be talking about the specs, but we've already gone a little bit about that at the start.
That could feel.
Could go about the fact that the economy. No, I'll leave that alone.
the price
I just want
of
to
the
drop,
rares
I
is
just want
going
to drop
down.
one thing, just one thing. To everyone who once criticized John Smith, now that he's gone from ArenaNet, just want to say one thing. He was right.
Oh, is he gone?
He was right. Yeah, he's been gone for 5 months now or something.
Oh, on the Mystic Coin prices. Yeah. He was
He
totally
was
right.
right about everything since the start. So just dropping this one there, and I'm done about the economy. I'll do more stuff about that later.
Well, yeah.
People came back to the game and they just
Yeah.
unloaded
They
ungodly
just
amounts.
spurged everywhere. Oh.
It worked. He was right all along. That's all.
Dropped 60 silver.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
of course he was right? I mean, of course people save this stuff because they see, oh, it's like free money, right? It's just money.
It's
that
the
just piles up.
saving. It's the saving, but also I've told, like, I went through the story with my friends, and then they heard that the Griffin mount's going to cost 250 gold, and like, oh, where am I going to get all that money? It's going to take a long time. And I said, check your bank. Check your bank. You might have something in there that's worth a lot of money. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I said, well, Mystic coins at the time it was, are worth about a gold each. And they're like, what?
Because it was 30 copper at some point back in the days.
Back in the day, they thought they were useless still. Then
I usually threw them away, and now I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so I'm sure a ton of people, casual players, didn't know that the 250 or 500 Mystic coins they had sitting in the bank was worth that much money. And then when they actually have a use to use it, they go.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Dude,
There
I'm
you
just,
go.
I'm just looking at my goals to efficiency, right, man? Dude, I lost 15k gold, dude. No, like 16k
Yeah, same.
gold.
Across all my accounts, I lost, I think, 50k. So it
50K
feels bad.
gold.
Yeah.
This is brutal, dude. It's my own fault. Like all I have is like I have so many just crafting materials lying about the place. So, and
Yeah.
I'm hoarding as well. I mean I just. But
Yeah.
the way I keep Mystic coins, I just like, wait until I need them and then I use them. So they just pile up, you know. Yeah, it feels bad. All my money's gone. Well, I mean, it's not really though, because I had a bunch of gold as well. But still, like, all my stuff is worthless now. Feels bad. But I mean, it's to be expected, right? I mean, everything's gonna because there's more of everything now. Like loads of people came back to the game. Like, people are farming stuff like crazy. There's loads of materials about the place. So yeah, of course, people are gonna reduce the prices of stuff with just being around and existing.
Just being around in the game for X number of ungodly hours, like myself.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, and just like you know, there's Mystic coins get injected because there's new accounts. So there's there's a lot of stuff.
And I think maybe what helps with the new account is possibly that our gaming thread that happened not too long ago. Did you guys see that? 50,000 upvotes.
Yeah, dude.
It actually
Saw
got
those
top
mounts,
there.
that was
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, it was pretty legit, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
I was very happy about that. Yeah, it was really cool.
Finally, getting the recognition the game deserves.
Yeah, and very positive attitude in that thread too. Everybody was saying, "Great game." I really want to see this. Yeah.
No, and it's because it's
criticized just for the sake of it, and in that topic, it didn't happen.
It's amazing to see how far the game has come, right? So
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's come a long way since launch. Like, Guild Wars 2 is a very different game now.
Yeah.
Than when it was at launch. And it's come a really long way. I enjoyed the game at launch, right? But there's been so many changes and positive improvements towards the game that it's a totally different experience now. So yeah, there you go. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many things that, like, at the launch, people would say, "Oh, but what about this? Oh, but what about that?" And sometimes you couldn't give an explanation, or you couldn't say, "Oh, well, this is taken care of." But now, like, pretty much every complaint that anybody's had in the past, you could kind of have an explanation for, and you could also say that's been corrected in a lot of situations. Like the end game, we have an end game. We really, really do. It's a really different game than it was before. It's good. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Something about the thread. I forget too. Oh well. Okay. Rip.
If it was important, you're gonna remember it. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what people say. It really annoys me when people say that. Yeah.
Probably
I
wasn't
spent the first 2 days of the expansion unlocking every single elite specialization the hard way. That was tough.
I got them all instantly, dude. Easy.
Of course you did. How many?
Troops
How many
of
Troops
heroics,
of
man.
heroics did you have saved up there?
Well, I had 9,000, over 9,000.
Oh my god!
Yeah, unironically over 9,000. It was great.
Wow.
It was terrific, dude. It was terrific.
Yeah, I mean it's better than what I had to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't even prepare your characters just
Are you kidding
by
me,
doing the
Boots?
hero point?
Boots is casual. What the hell?
Boots, you casual.
I'm a casual. I do everything the hard way. Like instead of
The hard way. Yeah.
I do. When I make my
Artificial
builds,
difficulty that you make on yourself like this does not count.
Sure, fair enough. Fair enough.
To end this all off, I guess, because I guess we're coming to an end. Teapot, are you gonna fill your entire guild hall with the Elonian Teapot?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, let's go.
But I'm
got
never
Teapots
gonna
in the
enter
game
this
now.
guild hall ever
I'm
again.
gonna put them all over the place.
Just put them everywhere.
All right. Also, chat wants me to address World vs. World, guys. I'm gonna tell you how to play World vs. World. Firebrands, Scourges, Spellbreakers, Revenants. That's it. That's all you need. And honestly, you might not even need the
So
rest.
nothing's changed.
Also, Weavers as well. Basically,
Except
nothing's
the elite
changed
specialization.
except it's now Bubble Wars 2. The name of the game, guys, is you wanna get your Spellbreaker bubbles on them, but not be in the enemy Spellbreaker bubbles. If you can do that, you'll win. You'll have a great time.
Sounds pretty straightforward.
Make sure,
That sounds pretty amazing.
make sure you actually attack the enemy as well. It's really important to just use all your range damage to just fuck people up before they even get to you, and that'll pretty much do it.
Are they going
Weaver
to
is
do
really
that?
good. Scourge is amazing. Like all the classes are fucking OP. Medium classes have got bopped actually. It's just not there, guys. It's just not there. Like,
Are they going to do that thing where because somebody suggested making the Spellbreaker bubbles colored based on your server?
They're working on it. They're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, they say they're trying to sort it out because it's a huge problem. You can't tell if you're in an enemy bubble or your friendly bubble before it's way too late, right? And then they're like, well, the thing is, I mean, it's World vs. World, right? So there's so many players. Like, if you're in it for more than a second, you just die. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And you can't get the boons back, so there's no escape, and then you have no health left and you're dead. That's basically it. And
I'm glad that I'm not doing World vs. World anymore.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Fine.
It's just,
I'm fine.
the trouble is that the power of some classes is just so high that kind of the difference between the classes that are good and the classes that are amazing tier is huge now. It's like before stuff like running you could run Druid, right? Like Druid is fine. It's like it's not that good. Yeah. It's not as good as other things. Like it's a solid choice, right? But now, like, it's shit tier. Like, it's totally useless compared to, like, something like healing with Firebrand or something. Or, like, you could play Thief now. Like, you could play Daredevil. Like, it's good. You do damage. You can do some solid damage. You got a bit of Boon Rip. You're pretty sustaining. But now, like, it's just... Why would you play that when you can just play Spellbreaker? There's no reason to do it now. And with Engineer, like Hollow-Smith, honestly, Hollow-Smith actually does good damage. Like, why would you play something that does good damage, but only good damage when you could play something like Spellbreaker or Scourge that does insane damage and has loads of utility on it as well, right?
So Scourge is just a fucking joke in PvP, and Spellbreaker as well, don't I?
Yeah. So...
I think
the monthly
it's wrong. It needs a nerf.
Yeah. The monthly AT just happened, and 8 out of 10 builds in the final apparently were Path of Fire builds.
Yeah, and I believe the only one, the 2 were Daredevils, correct?
Daredevils, yeah.
Because like you can't, Daredevil is like fucking sick.
You can't beat the mobility of the Daredevil.
Yeah, exactly.
But Syndroner was saying that right now, like Daredevil's sort of an optional thing. Yeah. Because
what did you say? Bear Devil?
Bear Devil?
Bear Devil. Like Devil Bear. A grr.
Yeah. Okay.
Or horns.
Yeah.
Daredevils.
Why not, then?
Gotcha.
Synderner's here. Okay. So
enemy team did not have a Daredevil. There you go. It's optional.
Enemy team didn't have one. Okay. And it was a close match. Syndroner, maybe you can answer this. How was there a large showing for the AT this year? For this month?
Year?
After Path of Fire?
Yearly
this
year? The yearly AT.
Because the next Cormier is in 2 years, guys. Haven't you seen? The next tournament
is in 2 years. I saw that.
We're done.
Yeah. It's the yearly, bi-yearly tournament.
Yeah, the next one's in 2020, right? That's a funny glitch.
Wait, can we get a video of the Champion's Moon, by the way?
He did. There is one on his YouTube.
You can see.
Oh, okay. I've just been
It's also
I haven't
on top of
Reddit. 1K
it.
viewers for it.
Oh my God.
1K viewers for that's pretty good. So also probably a lot of the possible PvP players are also currently playing the
trying stuff out,
the actual expansion right now. So it's possible that the huge influx we might be getting from this expansion haven't quite hit PvP yet. But 1K viewers, that's something. That's pretty good.
That's very good, even.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wonder how that's going in World vs. World. Do you think there's people playing World vs. World? Have you seen a lot of people before now as opposed to before POF hit?
What?
That's a really cool effect.
Wait, what?
Oh,
What?
yeah. So
the moon.
Teapot, have you been playing World vs. World recently?
Yes.
Are there more people playing currently than before POF hit?
No, considerably less, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, they're in
probably.
PvE. They're busy, you know.
Yeah.
I think that might be
Soon they will be back to World vs.
that might be
Soon they will
particularly
be
on
back there.
the server link we have now. Like the server link now is basically is more of a PvE focused server rather than a World vs. World server. So a lot of them, a lot of them are still, so a lot of them are still doing the PvE stuff. So on that stuff, but they'll definitely come back and come.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool.
It's
thing.
pretty cool. But that's just to kind of round that off, and there's some balance issues right now, guys. But hey, that shit happens, right? It will get patched.
It was to be expected.
We will definitely see at the end of the PvP season, right? We're gonna see some changes that are gonna probably resolve a lot of these issues. And then maybe tone down some of the elite specs, and then maybe we'll start seeing some more variation in what gets played in all the game modes, right? Because right now there's it's a bit of a free for all, guys, and as fun as that is, and believe me, it is fun. It's a bit silly, isn't it? Really, like when you have stuff like this running around, it's I imagine especially in PvP, so like some of the stuff is pretty annoying to deal with, but it'll get sorted. It'll get fixed. They're just going to let people figure it out, because obviously they don't want to nerf too soon. They need to just figure it out, especially in the competitive game modes. Obviously, that we'll figure the classes out, how to play them, see if they can counter them in some way, and then after that, if it's still too strong, then they'll deal with it.
Because at the moment in PvP, I'm just going to drop this one out. What is retarded? I remember, if you guys remember the build that Brazil hyped up, that Immortal Revenant build, that was literally just sitting on a point, either decapping it or preventing you from getting the cap. Well,
I know nothing about that build.
I'm not going to question you. Basically, right now, we have something highly similar, but in just a slightly different way. If you go alone on a point on which a Spellbreaker stands, you won't win. Because it has 4 End Your Pains, because it has a shit ton of CC, because it has a shit ton of boons as well in itself, because it can remove yours. It can just sit there and do nothing, and you will just die. And then there is the other point, somewhere else on the map, where a Scourge stands. You're going to be like, hey, that's just a Necro. I'm going to stroll in there. I'm going to knock him, give him some good CC, and fucking boast him to death. But no, it doesn't work. Because the moment you step on this, you get 35 Torment, 20 billion stack of bleeding, a lot of random ass other poison or whatever, and then you're like, dead. And the dude is just like, slash sit. He hasn't pressed any keys. He's like, I had all my traps there, I'm fine. And you're just dead. And this is how it feels right now. I'm literally just rotating around the map, looking for the one point on which there is no Scorch, no Spellbreaker, and then I go and try to do something there. Because the rest is just undoable.
I mean, it's that's what Scourge does.
That's how it is.
If you go near, if you go near the Scourge, it just gives you AIDS. That's how it goes, right? I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how the meta develops, and if people figure out strategies how to deal with this stuff. But I think definitely there are. Scourge is a pretty good class, and Spellbreaker is pretty good, guys. It's good. It's a good class. Full counter, guys, is pretty good. Okay, full counter is pretty good. I'm just gonna say it. It's quite a strong ability. I'm just gonna put that out there, man. It's a solid.
It is maybe too strong. Maybe.
Only maybe.
But I mean, the other stuff seems like mostly okay.
Actually knows.
Yeah. But I think that's about it, guys.
Yeah, I need to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Deroir needs to sleep so he can get
Tonight,
back to grinding, dude. He can get back to going hard. Yeah.
I'm going to bed immediately after this.
Nah. We all know you're gonna
We
stay
all know
up.
you're
Do
gonna
all
get,
the
get,
dailies.
get all those dailies, dude. I
Set.
grind everything out. We all know, dude.
I've already done everything.
Deroir exposed, dude.
I've literally done everything. Like okay, not literally done everything because I'm missing one major event, and it's the Desolation Realm Portal Spiker. Do that 100 times. That's the only thing I'm missing. I have everything else done.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I guess we know who won Deroir versus Teapot.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's.
Was
that's
there
the
even
answer,
competition to begin?
There was. A few weeks ago we created it. Yeah.
I beat the story, then I went to sleep. I beat the story first. I'm just gonna say that. Fucking wrecked the right.
Okay.
I got the story first. I exposed.
I didn't go to sleep. I just power through.
I just beat the story. Yeah, that's enough.
I've done 3 total, just 48-hour marathons. Yeah. Throughout the week, yeah, it's been fucking tough. My entire body,
You're a crazy
my entire body aches like shit.
Oh my god!
And tomorrow my kind of vacation ends, so I need sleep. I genuinely fucking need sleep.
Man, you can sleep in classes. It's fine.
Yeah,
sleep when you're dead.
Or that, yeah.
I mean, if I wait,
if you keep going, then yeah, it might end up like that.
Long.
Yeah, true.
All right then. Let's go. It's time to tell everyone about ourselves or something. All right, let's go. Sam, who are you? Tell us about those videos you were making instead of playing the game. Let's go.
Yeah. So basically, I've been playing the game. I've been enjoying Soul Beast a lot. So first it was like just getting all the new pets, showcasing them a bit. Then it was more like, what am I going to do in raids and fractals? Because obviously the spec is new. There is some cool stuff that can be done with it, but just laying down the groundwork. And now I'm going to be going more in depth on what makes the class obviously better than every single other thing in the game, and the superiority of being both you and your pet at the same time. But no, basically just more guides on Soul Beast, probably some economy related stuff quite soon. And that's pretty much what I do. Ranger and economy. I stream and I do YouTube, and that's it.
There we go. All right, let's see. The Wanderer returns. His world of boots, world of
Hawaii.
He's back.
World of Boots.
Uncle Boots. He's back.
Yeah,
man.
Uncle Boots.
Among Us.
When are you seeing these builds, man? When are we seeing some horrible builds?
Maybe there might be one this week. I just gotta sit down and do it with somebody. I forget what his name is. It's been a while. And
forgetting the potato.
Oh yeah, the sweet potato. It's gonna be Path of Fire. I'm gonna be playing Path of Fire for a little while, and it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna get some videos. There's a lot of elite specs out, and I'm probably gonna do at least one for each. I can't guarantee you that any of them are gonna be good, but hang in there, guys.
That's good.
World of Enders.
I mean, can you guarantee that they're gonna be bad though?
Ooh.
I don't know. I could hope. I could only try.
Okay.
Only try.
All right.
I appreciate the try.
And the Illuminati expert exposing ArenaNet. Yes. ArenaNet got exposed by this man, Deroir Gaming.
Yeah.
What's up with you these days?
What's up with me? I'm gonna be making a lot of videos on the Path of Fire story because finally I actually have a lot of meat to work with.
Ooh.
And it feels really, really good to blow. Yeah, okay. Don't
meat.
Do not. Shut up.
Someone clip this.
Do not clip that.
Deroir's got a lot of meat to work with.
Oh, fuck off. All right. You know what I mean. Fuck all y'all.
Blow some minds, right?
The Illuminati.
Blow the minds.
Yeah.
Mines aren't the only thing that are gonna get blown.
Whoa, hey.
Oh, goodness gracious. That was so bad.
Oh, dude.
Mind spikes.
Mind
spikes.
There we go. So they're coming back. Are you gonna make an economy?
We are actually fucking gonna come back. Huh? Am I gonna what?
Make an economy video? You made
no.
Are you gonna actually make a new one?
There's no way I'm ever doing that again.
Is there gonna be
Everyone hated it. Everyone hates it.
Dude, I actually liked it.
I'm just gonna yeah, like it was one of at the time when I started that thing. This is like way back. It was one of my most liked videos, but it was also the very most the top most disliked video by like miles.
Wow.
And I just kind of like I don't really care about that attention. I'm just gonna keep my trap shut. Was kind of my attention, my idea at that point. So I stuck to what I enjoyed the most and what people liked the most. So yeah.
Is your mind spike going to be about the Avgent theory?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually really hyped for that, man. I want to see. I want to learn, man. I want to see ArenaNet get exposed for their Masonic Illuminati symbolism, man. But finally, it is me. It is me, guys. Follow the stream. Like, I mean, I don't know how to describe this TeaTime. Like, what do I even say about this? Like, where else can you find this type of content, dude? Like, what is this? But either way, if you enjoyed the stream, hit the follow button. If you really like me, subscribe. I don't really make videos on YouTube, but maybe I will. I don't know. Who knows? You can sub there as well. And be sure to follow me on Twitter. Inks isn't here to actually show up his Twitter, guys, so I'm going to need you guys to all follow right now, guys. Let's go. Follow me on Twitter. We got to get a leg up on Inks, guys. We got to escape it, okay? Like, we got to get on pace. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Follow all of these guys here. The bot will post all the links. You can find all the links below the stream as well. Follow, sub, get the emotes. Use everyone's referral link to buy at least 10 alt accounts. All that good stuff.
Sounds good to
links
me.
in their channels. Links below the stream. There's links everywhere. There's so much to click on, guys. And, we'll see you guys later. Yeah. Thanks for watching, my friends.
Bye.
And just try and just take some rest and recover your mind from the
spike
that
I've
been delivered to you. Yeah, the spike. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
Ciao.